scores!
Trippier's outswinger. Maguire Kane has stolen it at the death. That's what he's there for. England's main man.
Overtime. God's despair. They score! Seth Jarvis! What's the critics?
The Jason Gregor Show.
Here's Howden, and even strength, and he scores! Brett Howden again!
On Sports 1440.
Trippier's outswinger. Maguire Kane has stolen it at the death. That's what he's there for. England's main man.
Presented by PlayAlberta.ca, Alberta's only regulated online gambling website.
If they score the game winner in overtime, God's despair. They score! Seth Jarvis! Quiets the critics and ignites the crowd!
A fantastic, positive Friday. How are you? And welcome to the Jason Gregor Show on Sports 1440, sports1440.ca, YouTube, Facebook, X, Instagram. Thanks as always for listening. Thanks for watching the show. It's always brought to you by our title sponsor, PlayAlberta.ca, Alberta's only regulated online gambling website where 100% of the revenue stays right here in the province, PlayAlberta.ca, where, of course, Lotto Max tonight, you can get in. Maybe you'll win $15 million and 15 extra prizes of $100,000. And while you're there, you can check out the Jason Gregor odds boost. We got some NBA, some MLB, and a little Elks for you this weekend. So I can check that out. Man, we got a busy show today. Of course, we're going to talk a lot green and gold. Jeff Avery will join us, analyst for the Redblacks, Hall of Famer as well, to touch on them. Mick Kern from Sirius XM will be by. Craig Button talking all things hockey. We got Spec. We got LT talking about trades for the Edmonton Oilers. Is it going to happen this summer? Is this the year Darnell Nurse goes? And is Bruce Cassidy? Now, I didn't expect the Oilers to just sit and wait. You know, like you're going to make other. Well, I know that they've interviewed other coaches. We've talked about Berube. We've talked about Laviolette. Those are two I know for sure. I would guess there could be others. And we'll see. Cassidy wasn't 100% the only option. He was somebody that I think they'd really like to interview. They just can't do it. And there's no guarantee they can. So do you wait? There's at least 5 more games. Or I shouldn't say at least 3 more games. Maybe maximum of 5 more games in the Stanley Cup final. And who knows if Vegas will grant permission. They might not. Sucks for Bruce Cassidy, who's kind of stuck in limbo as a guy who says he wants to work, but might not get the opportunity. So we shall see. 833-401-1440. 833-401-1440. That's where you can text us. We have, luckily today we were out golfing at the MS Smash Out tournament. And congrats to Dr. Scott and all the money they've raised at that tournament over the years. A lot of fun. And we wrapped up just in time for me to get back to the show. I will say, salesman Steve, and he can pound the ball. He was golfing with us today, his buddy Cam and Simon and JR. We had a good time. It was great. We got lucky. No rain for us. Looks like the rain might be coming in for those of you who are on the course this afternoon. Hopefully not, but it looks like it's slowly trickling in, and there was supposed to arrive around 2 or 3 o'clock. So we'll see. We've had a fair amount of rain. I'm not saying we need much more right now, but we'll see. Coming up, we have Connor Halley's going to join us right away. Also, Declan Kruger back from Italy. We'll find out what the D-man liked about Italy, where you walk a lot, you eat a lot, and I don't know if you've ever been to Italy or not. Any of our those who have probably can attest the pasta. Good, it's different. Well, because their ingredients are different. It's funny. You talk to a lot of people who can't eat gluten over in North America, and they go to Europe and, oh, geez, I got to try the pasta over here, and they eat it, and they're like, it's not really bothering me. I'll check out the ingredients. One of those simple things that I'm always wondering, like, why don't we do it as a nation? Say, hey, you know what? Maybe we should have healthier food for our citizens. Just an idea. Like, gluten-free isn't nearly as rampant over there. Why would that be? We could get into it a little bit later on. Hey, athletes, you want to be healthier. Joe Blows, everybody, you want to be healthier as well. So, also today, Cole Caulfield, congratulations. He is the winner of the Lady Bing Trophy. Anze Kopitar second, Jake Sanderson, Zach Werenski, Kyle Connor round out the top 5. There's lots of players that get votes for this award. Leon Draisaitl got a second, a fourth, and a fifth. McDavid got a second and a fourth. If you're Oilers fans, like I am looking, man, there is this season, there was, I'm counting, it looks like over 90 different Jake Ottinger, a goaltender. What? I don't know if I've ever seen, I got to look at that up before, but Jake Ottinger got a vote. Hey, I'm one of the voting members. I will tell you, the Lady Bing is hard. I've argued for years that it might be better. I would let the officials vote on the Lady Bing, honestly, because it's not just penalty minutes. You know, you can hear certain things. You see what goes on. Some guys can be ultra cheap and just don't get penalties because they don't see it. So I don't know. But either way, hey, good for Cole Caulfield. He had 45 first place votes. Kopitar 38, Jake Sanderson 28, Werenski 21. So those were the top 5. Meanwhile, his teammate Nick Suzuki wins the Selke pretty handily, very dominant. He had 151 first place votes. Anthony Cirelli had 10. Brock Nelson had 4. He finished third. But Shane Pinto had 8. Jordan Stahl had 7. Those guys just had fewer second and third place votes, so they ended up 5th and 6th, respectively. Mitch Marner gets 3 first place votes. Jack Eichel gets 1. Sebastian Aho had 4. Nico Hischier had 2. Yanni Gord, Noah Cates, Brendan Hagel, Sam Reinhart, Ryan O'Reilly, Mark Stone. So 3 different Vegas players. Come on now. Sidney Crosby had a first place vote, as did Ryan McLeod, former Edmonton Oilers. Leon Draisaitl had 1 third place vote. Draisaitl, of course, finished 6th in Selke voting last season, but he was the only Oiler. No surprise. I think anybody who watches the Oilers knows that if there was one area of their game that they would like to improve a little bit, would be the defensive awareness collectively of the group. So not a surprise that they had 1 vote for the Selke, and it was a third place vote for Mr. Leon Draisaitl. Con man, how you doing?
Doing good, Jason. Yeah, I just kind of had my eyes outside waiting for this storm to hit. I'm hearing we might get a nice little light show. Unfortunately, we're not going to see it, but doing good, Gregor. How about you?
Oh, we're going to get some bolts
That's what they're saying. Yeah, per reports. So if you're on the golf course, maybe keep your eyes out just in case. You are not in a good spot with that club in your hand.
True. Very true. Very true. 833-401-1440, 833-401-1440. Hey, guys, rain is coming down hard right now in Stony Plain. Got lucky, just came back from walking the dog from the one-armed bandit. So there you go. It's coming. It is only a matter of time. There's hail in Ambleside right now. So, geez. Try to get your vehicles and other things out of danger if you can, because no one wants hail damage. That's never good. Hopefully nothing serious. Pouring in Riverbend from Randy. So the rain has officially come. Man, we lucked out. We got to golf, got in 18 holes and no rain, and now the skies have opened up. One thing to now, Connor, it's funny to me. We have talked about what was the most realistic location for CFL expansion.
Quebec City, and then the Maritimes was thrown out there.
But the Maritimes, it would have been a nice idea. They never had facility. I don't think they have the structure to do it. But it's all arrows are pointing to the CFL expanding to Quebec City, which, you know what, makes a lot of sense for the league. 10 teams is better. I think they'll go back to 2 bye weeks instead of 3. That's good news. You will have, you can have 5 games a week most weeks, and then other weeks you'd have 4, just based on buys. Right? Maybe the odd time you'd have 3 if you had 4 teams on a bye one week potentially. So, I would guess, what are we talking? So this is 26. Maybe by 2029. Could that be a realistic number potentially for expansion? But after, oh my goodness, we've been talking about expansion for 15 years? This seems the most realistic. There's talks about an actual facility being built. So to me, that is great news. Very good news. If it actually comes to fruition, I think it would be good for the league. I think it would be good for fans. They love the CFL in Quebec. Right, Montreal's been very successful. I think in Quebec City, you get 10. Like, there's obviously a Quebec-Montreal rivalry. Are you kidding me? That would be awesome. I think Ottawa is going to be a rival. Like, it's great. Well, really, if you look, when you got a 10-team league, East and West, like, you talk to Elks fans, okay, yeah, Calgary, but Saskatchewan's pretty big rival. Sometimes, Winnipeg, BC, like, it's all great. When you have that few teams, you're going to have some rivalries, which is awesome. Hey, Gregor, is it weird to call a coach like Cassie and interview him? Is he barred from media? Sneaky way to see what he is about. From Mark. Oh no, Mark, we're hoping to have him on next week. In fact, so there's been a few times where just hasn't. You got to get through the agent, which sometimes can be a little bit harder to go through. But yes, we'd like to have him on. I think Bruce Cassidy. Hey, as I said it from day one, I think it was the day before the report came out that the Oilers had asked to speak to Bruce Cassidy. And remember, he did that interview in Toronto. I don't think it was by surprise. He had known that they had been said no to. And I think he was like, I got to get my name out here. He clearly wants to coach. And that's the one thing, you read any interview, you talk to anybody, Bruce Cassidy's a coach. He wants to coach. He doesn't want to take a year off. He wants to coach. And he's become more vocal in the last week or so about his frustration with not having the opportunity to at least get interviewed. And that's valid. I can understand it. It's very valid. So we'll see where it goes.
Do you think anything comes from this, Gregor, where coaches have something in the contract going forward? Like, if you part ways with me or whatever it might be, like, I'm done, I'm out, you don't have the rights to prevent me from interviewing for another job? Like, none of this relieved of his duty stuff. If you're firing me, I'm out.
Yeah, well, I think you could have teams or coaches and their agents. All you got to do is change the wording of a contract. It'd be very simple. Now, some might say we don't really need to do it because this is a one-time thing, right? Like, this is not normal. But once it happens once, some teams might say, oh, maybe we want to do it. But you need an owner who is willing to eat the money. That's a big reason why teams let coaches go. They don't want to pay them. Like, I know that it's $1 billion industry, but no one just wants to pay somebody $4.5 million to do nothing. Rarely do you make a lot of money but just wasting money. Like literally, Casty would be doing zero work. Right? Like there's people, I'm sure you have some coworkers, you're like, I can't believe that Sally and Tim get paid what they get paid to do what they do. I'm sure people have some coworkers where maybe not they're pulling their weight, but at least they're bringing something to the table. Right now, Bruce Cassidy would make $4.5 million next season to do absolutely nothing for your organization, because the way the contract is worded, his responsibilities are all about the head coach. You can't fire him as the head coach and say, oh, you know what? We want you to fill out scouting reports now. So that so people know, you can't fire him as the head coach, but then make him do other things that would be, not something that the coach would do, right? You can't do it. They write the contract specific for that. Because otherwise teams would be like, okay, we don't want this guy as a head coach anymore. Well, you know what? Now we need you to send us videos of this or that, break down the team. And the coach would be like, this is not what I signed up for. So you can't do it. So literally, he would sit at home and do a whole lot of nothing. And if your owner is willing to do it, and I can understand why, if it's Edmonton, who is Vegas's most competitive rival in their division? Well, it's clearly Edmonton. Vegas made it to the Cup final in 23. Edmonton made it in 24 and 25. Vegas made it in 26. They don't have anybody. Like, I'm sorry, Anaheim, you've had one run. You're not there. LA can't beat anybody. Vancouver, you know what? They got to the final in 2023. Couldn't do anything since, right? So, no, it's Edmonton and Vegas. Anaheim is coming, but they're not there yet. So I could see why Vegas would say, you know what? I'm willing to bite the bullet for $4.5 million. So my biggest, most competitive rival doesn't get the coach. Because it's not like Bruce Cassidy's a terrible coach. He's a pretty good coach. They just felt like it was time for a change. And obviously, they were right. It's worked out incredibly well for them. Let's take a quick break. We'll return. We got more hockey. We're going to talk about the Elks. And I've said it, and I honestly, I don't even think I'm exaggerating when I say this is the biggest game in franchise history of the Elks franchise, which started in 2021. Because they've never won their season opening game in 5 years. Started 0-2, 0-3, 0-9, 0-7, 0-3. Finished 3-11, 4-14, 4-14, 7-11, 7-11. Never close to a winning record. They've never been above 500. They were 500 once at 2-2 in 2021. Then they lost 8 straight. So they've never been close. But we'll see. Hey, Gregor, is Vegas paying him anything before next season starts? His contract pays over the regular season. Well, I don't know if he has a bonus or not. That would depend. But either way, if you don't, like, how many coach openings come available in September, October? Unless Patrick Waugh is going to quit another job, that doesn't happen. So the next time he potentially could get a job would be early in the season if a team fires their coach. Now, maybe by then Vegas would allow them. But I could see why they might say, we're just not going to let Edmonton. So that means Toronto, you can't do it. LA, you can't do it at the same time. We'll hold off. Because they do have the right to change their mind. And come October, they might be like, you know what? If a team now comes to us and asks, we'll grant them permission. And by then you're like, well, coaching vacancies for this coming season, there's none until somebody gets fired. So I can see that. Quick break. We'll return. It's the Jason Gregor Show presented by PlayAlberta.ca.
Oodle Noodle Origins.
In 1864, Francis Oodle took over his dying father's business as a leatherman. He was quite proficient, but his heart was never truly in the trade. After his father's death, Oodle met a cocksure young man named Vladimir Nudell, who was a trailblazer in the popular new art of food boxes. They formed a partnership and aimed to ply their trade in the New World. At Ellis Island, Nudell was renamed David Noodle, and henceforth, the franchise has been known as
Oodle Noodle.
The sun's out, the pavement's warm, and that low rumble of a Harley rolling by? Oh yeah, that's calling your name. This is riding season, and if you've been thinking about a new ride, Harley-Davidson of Edmonton has the one that'll get your heart pumping. With a huge selection of new and pre-owned bikes, there's one waiting for you. Whether you're upgrading or just getting started. And while you're there, ask about test rides, because the only way to know is to ride it. For more details, visit Harley-Davidson of Edmonton on the Yellowhead Trail, locally owned and operated since 1980, or at hdedmonton.com.
Hey there, I'm in the Fountain Tire sidecar, making a list of the things I'm doing this spring. 1. Saving you money with up to 20% off select tires until June 13th. 2. Water skiing. Tricky in a sidecar, but fun. And 3. Saving you more money with mail-in rebates of up to $100 off a set of 4 select tires and $50 off a $150 service with the purchase of 4 select tires. Oh, that's 4 things. Oh well, restrictions apply. Book online at fountaintire.com. Fountain Tire. We're on this road together, Canada.
You may get up early, but more than likely, the team at GS Construction have already gotten up before you, grabbed a coffee, headed to the site, and started their day. So while Edmonton wakes up, GS crews are already underground, quietly keeping things moving, upgrading, and laying the new underground infrastructure for our growing city. If you're the kind of person who goes to sleep with their steel-toed boots on, GS Construction wants to hear from you. We're looking for a maintenance foreman as well as a building and yard attendant. Visit gsconstruction.ca for more.
You see it? Fusion Promo Marketing can make it. Fusion makes high-quality, memorable promotional products for businesses, sports teams, and corporate events. From vision to reality, get noticed and remembered. Fusion with a Z. Promomarketing.ca.
Shoulder pain. It can make even the simplest things like reaching up, lifting a bag, brushing your teeth, or sleeping frustrating. Rotator cuff strains, impingement, arthritis, they're some of the most common issues we treat every day. I'm Grant Fedoruk, and at Leading Edge Physio, our team brings postgraduate training, evidence-based technology, and just the right amount of humor and humility to help you feel better. Because we never forget the most important part, the gratitude we feel for every patient who allows us the opportunity to care for them. Because life shouldn't hurt. When it does, leadingedgephysio.com.
Come for Canada's largest trade shows, the biggest names in entertainment, exhilarating sporting events, and more. And stay for the experience at the Edmonton Expo Centre. Looking for the perfect place to host your next big event? From trade shows to galas, meetings, and concerts, the Edmonton Expo Centre has the space, event expertise, and service to make your next event unforgettable. With over 522,000 square feet of flexible event space, in-house catering, and operational expertise, they bring your biggest vision to life. Learn more at edmontonexpocentre.com today.
At Wendy's, get a 10-piece nugget small combo for just $8.99. That's right, $8.99 for 100% Canadian chicken, plus fries and a drink. That's just good nuggenomics. Only until June 14th. In restaurant at participating Wendy's locations. Taxes extra.
Novo Blinds is your home ice advantage for window coverings. Edmonton's own custom manufacturer with over 300 5-star reviews from homeowners, builders, and commercial contractors. Book a free in-home consultation at novoblinds.ca.
Summit Restaurant, located in the heart of the Silent Ice Center and just minutes from South Edmonton Common. Summit is your destination for exceptional house-made pizza, delicious entrees, and expertly crafted cocktails. Cheers. Experience the perfect blend of flavor and ambiance in a modern setting. Join us for a straightforward yet elevated dining experience where our commitment to quality speaks to every bite and sip. Make Summit Restaurant your next night on the town.
Hey there, it's Brandon Douglas from Sports 1440. I was tired of slow, unreliable internet connections, so I signed up for Starlink. It's fast, reliable even in bad weather, and has made streaming for movie nights and online gaming so much better. The summer doesn't mean a break from watching sports, and I've been streaming all the games seamlessly when at the family farm, despite the remote location. If you're ready for a better internet experience, you can order online in 2 minutes at starlink.com/radio or call 1-888-GO-STARLINK.
Portions of this hour brought to you by Mortgages to Go. Need cash and have equity in your home? Mortgages to Go has you covered. When the bank says no, they say yes, and they've been doing it in Alberta for over 23 years. Call 1-888-888-5998 or visit mortgagestogo.ca.
The Jason Gregor Show, the best of Edmonton sports talk and beyond. This is Sports 1440.
Presented by PlayAlberta.ca, Alberta's only regulated online gambling website.
$223 positive Friday. How are you? Ooh, sounds like, man, and we're getting lots of texts in different parts of the city. The rain is coming down hard, so get your lights on. If you're driving around, please just make sure everybody can see you. It's one of those hard storms, and probably will slowly work its way through your area, your community, and then slow down a little bit. But either way, if it's there, be safe. We want everybody to get home tonight, relaxed and watching the games, do whatever you like. So it should be fun. 833-401-1440, 833-401-1440. As a man, sporting fans, you got so much going on right now. Like, it is awesome. Think about it. You got NBA finals, NHL Stanley Cup final. You have MLB. We have French Open final, women tomorrow, men on Sunday. You got the Monaco Grand Prix this weekend. We got the World Cup starting next week. And we kicked off CFL last night. An overtime first game of the season, baby. Awesome. And, of course, we got Calgary and Winnipeg tonight. And then tomorrow, the Edmonton Elks will kick off their season and try to do something that the Elks have never done in franchise history. Win their first game of the season. The organization hasn't done it since 2019, but since they changed the name in 21, they are 0 for 5. And in fact, you look at their combined, they are 0-24 before they get a win in those 5 seasons. 0-2, 0-3, 0-9, 0-7, 0-3. Not good. So they'll try to change it. And in their way tonight, the Ottawa Redblacks, as we get to our big guest of the day, brought to you by Silent Rides, one of Alberta's premier bus charter companies with state-of-the-art motor coaches that will safely take you or your group to your next destination, sports teams, weddings, stags, you name it. They got it, silentrides.ca, as we are joined by Redblacks analyst and Hall of Famer, Jeff Avery. Jeff, welcome back to the show, man. How you doing?
Fine. Thank you very much, Jason. Yourself?
Well, pretty good. Lucked out, man. We golfed today, and the rain came after we finished. So that's a good sign. Good sign. We're off the course, and suddenly you're in your car, and it's pouring rain. So that's lucky for us. Sad for those who were supposed to golf after, but that's how it goes. Great start for the CFL season last night. If you like entertainment, going down to the wire, Hamilton and Montreal. Ottawa, last year wasn't a banner year for them. It led to some changes, most notably a new head coach. So tell me kind of what you've seen. What do you think is going to be the major difference now, led by a new coach who's had a lot of success recently in Toronto?
Well, what we're hoping for to see as a major major change this year with Ryan Dinwiddie is a better performing offense. In Toronto, they as well last year didn't have a great record, but they put points on the board, second most points scored average per game in the league. So that's what they're hoping for here in Ottawa, that Ryan Dinwiddie, as the offense coordinator, head coach, can bring that offensive touch to the Redblacks this year.
So you look at, and you know what, a little bit, I don't know if controversy is the right word or not, Jeff, but, a lot of people were maybe a little surprised that Jake Maier won the starting quarterback job. Talk about that decision and why you think he won it.
Yeah, I think it surprised quite a few people here as well. From the training camp point of view, Jake just illustrated a little bit stronger in arm. To quote Coach Dinwiddie, he could complete a little bit more of what Dinwiddie was looking. He had the arm strength to get a certain number of things done that Dinwiddie wanted to see in his offense. Now, I think it's, obviously from Drew Brown's perspective, not a great thing. But from a Redblacks perspective, you've got 2 quarterbacks now that have illustrated they can start in this league. And so it gives you good depth at the position. And as we all know, anybody who follows the CFL for any length of time, the starting quarterback rarely makes it through the full season. So it's good to have that depth there. Dinwiddie, I think, to his credit, made the decision early, and so got that out of the way of the discussion. This is what I'm going to do early. And then in the second exhibition game, Drew Brown came back and played very, very well. He put points on the board, threw 7 of 8, 88% completion. So, again, just illustrated the strength of having 2 good quality quarterbacks in the quarterback room.
Yeah, well, that is key. Edmonton's made a lot of changes to their team, most notably on the offensive line. Give me your thoughts on the D line of Ottawa, because as you know firsthand, you win the line of scrimmage battle. A lot of times you can win the game, especially on both sides of the ball. How is Ottawa's D line shaping up?
Yeah, I really like actually the look of the defensive line this year. Certainly across the starters, or what we're expecting to see the starters. The addition of Baldonado at end and as a global player is, I think, going to be very, very key. Back from last year's Wakefield at tackle and Carter at end. But at defensive tackle, the other defensive tackle, the Canadian position, Mufta Gili has stepped up this year and has moved from his first year last year in a backup role to he's getting the starting spot there. So that gives them, again, that depth you're looking for, because Cleon Lang, 12-year veteran, still very productive. He'll be coming in on a regular rotational basis with a Gili. And then they picked up from the Argos in a trade the rights to Luigi Villain, a local kid who spent 3-4 years in the NFL, defensive end, and he is now on the roster, signed a 3-year contract, looked very good in training camp. So again, gives them that depth you're looking for at end, along with Aiden John, who last year, in his second year last year, started to really show some good things. So I like it across that defensive line with the depth of talent they have, good rotational basis, and also the flexibility on the roster. Within that 8-man rotation, you've got 2 globals.
Yes.
You've got 4 Canadians. So it's a good place where they can still get production, but also make adjustments in the roster should they need to.
I think they might be the only team in the league that has 2 globals starting on their D-line.
Well, in actual fact, Blessman Ta'ala is listed as the starter, but Mike Wakefield will get the majority of them. He's a designated American and also a nationalized American, so he'll get most of the snaps at that tackle spot.
Okay. You look at their offensive line, and they're going with 2 Americans at the tackle. Of course, Ivy was here in Edmonton, and then you've got the Canadians on the interior. Your O-line is so important, and Edmonton just simply didn't have good enough O-line play the last few years, and they upgraded their O-line, I think, significantly this year, and now we have to see it in games. But where you look at this Ottawa O-line, how do you rank it? What are the strengths, and are there any areas of concern?
Well, for me, this is the biggest question mark for the Redblacks. That offensive line, not a great year last year themselves, as you saw similarly in Edmonton. And so they have made adjustments along that line. Obviously, adding Ivy, and you already spoke of, and added Sean McEwen, a 10-year veteran from Calgary, or from the University of Calgary, obviously well-known in the league. And so they've added those 2 to the set they had last year. But the first-round overall pick, Vaccaro, has been listed as the starter at right guard. So this is an area that's, I think, in transition. And the offensive line's a really unique group, guys that really have to learn how to play together. You have to understand what's going on with the guy on both sides of you. So that's where I'm looking as the biggest question mark here for the Redblacks going into this season. Pelios, who started at right tackle last year, is in at the backup position.
Yep.
Sam Carson is also enlisted as a backup position. So I think that's what I'm going to be focused on myself, just to see how well that unit can produce. Because a couple of things what the Redblacks have done, we already talked about the quarterback position, so we're looking for a good passing game, great receiving core. But they picked up Greg Bell, signed him out of Hamilton, and he's a dynamic back. And so having him, you really look to that offensive line. Can they create those little holes that Bell can get through? Unfortunately, this season opener that we were expecting to have Greg Bell in the starting role, he's got a little bit of a nagging injury, and so he won't be starting at the tailback position. Will be Elijah Collins.
And that's what I was going to ask you about. That's a pretty big loss, because Bell is a dynamic running back. And I think I was reading the CFL previews, and a lot of people were expecting him to be a huge part of that offense. And I'm sure he will be when he gets in. But, so now they go to Collins. Is Collins more like, is he a scat back guy? Is he a pounding runner? What type of runner do you expect from him tonight?
Well, Collins a little bit more size than Greg Bell, a little bit more of a power runner. We saw him in the exhibition season in both games, and so he has a little bit of everything going for him, has the ability to show a little burst going through the hole. So, he's an okay fill-in for sure, but he's not Greg Bell. And as you described, we were expecting a lot out of Greg Bell this year. Daniel Adeboboya is the backup at that tailback position. He'll get a fair number of snaps as well. So early on, we expect Bell only to miss the one game. He just a stiff neck, so they didn't want to risk anything. And so we'll see what we get out of that tailback position tonight, along with, as I said, my biggest question mark, how that offensive line plays.
Going to the defense, so we talked a little bit about the D-line. You got Morgan and Revis and Allen looking like the starters in the linebacking core, and then Houston, Williams, Fry, Brown, and Adai as the safety. What is the strength of the defense, in your opinion, Jeff?
Well, I think it's what we've already spoken of. I think it's that defensive line and then the coupling in with the linebacking core to, that front seven. I think that's the strength of the group. It's new across the board in the linebacking core as they've replaced all three linebackers. And with some quality people for sure. But I think that's the strength of it, and has been a problem over the last several years here in Ottawa. They haven't got consistent play out of the secondary. So that's something to watch for. They did pick up Demario Houston to add some veteran presence at the one corner, and the guys across from the rest of that secondary are returners, and some young guys there, Brown and Fry, both in their second years, and Bennett William in his second year. So it's another group. As I've said, I'm big question mark on the offensive line, and we all in Ottawa focused. Every fan in the stands is always focused on the secondary.
Yeah. Looking around the league, and you look at Ottawa and Toronto, obviously they were, behind Hamilton and Montreal. Is that kind of how you see it playing out this year, that, one of those teams, either Ottawa or Toronto, are really going to have to step up to close the gap?
Exactly. Absolutely. I mean, Ottawa's made a lot of changes, and certainly they're expecting to improve significantly. But Toronto has to do the same. Of course, they get Kelly back at quarterback, so that's their big plus, if you will, from last year to this year. But both teams, they got to illustrate they can, play with the likes of Hamilton and Montreal, because both of those teams, proven winners, they know what they can do. And I think the entertainment value in last night's game illustrated that right away.
Jeff Avery joins us, analyst for the Ottawa Redblacks. I always like to hear kind of what's your thoughts on Edmonton, and what's your expectations, what you'll see from them tomorrow.
Well, I think Edmonton, again, both of you, if you look at both Ottawa and Edmonton last year, disappointing records, certainly. So that's the obvious that you're looking for improvement in both. But I think Edmonton's strength, they finished the season strong last year, got off to a very rough start, and certainly made their presence felt in the latter part of the season. So I look at them as an improved group already, just based on what we saw at the last half of last season. And it's a large number of guys that are, coming in their second and third year. So this is a group as a core, the overall team that's growing, as a youthful group that's growing. So, the improvements they made in the offensive line should certainly bode well. And it's just a matter of let's see the proof in the pudding. And we're thinking exactly the same thing here in Ottawa between these two teams. Who's going to get off to a better start? Because both teams need those wins early. Ottawa themselves, they got five home games in their first 7 games. So they've got to make hay here early.
Well, definitely. They've never won the opening game of the season, which is wild. And sadly, in 3 or 4 of those years, the season's been over before it began, in the sense that they were in a deep hole and couldn't get out of it. I want to get your thoughts, because it seems that the CFL is maybe the closest it's ever been, because, man, this conversation's gone on for decades, that they're going to expand. And lots of arrows. I saw Dave Naylor talking about it again today, that, it seems like Quebec City and the CFL are serious about having a 10th team. Obviously, there'd be still a few years down the road, but how important do you think that 10th team is? And, kind of another rival for Ottawa, Montreal, Hamilton, Toronto. When you only have 5 teams in the East and 5 in the West, almost everybody's a rival. And what would you make of having a 10th team, Jeff?
I think it's hugely important, especially when you make certain rule changes where, we're looking at 8 of 9 teams making the playoffs. So I think having that 10th team just makes so much sense for so many reasons, scheduling, and obviously the playoff pictures I just spoke of. So, and exactly what you just said, I think it's still several years down the road, but I think once our new commissioner got through with his TV deal and did a great job there, that the focus is now going to again return, as it has for such a long time, to see if they can add a 10th team to the CFL, because for so many reasons, it's really important to get that, and a strong contender, somebody that's going to be here. We've seen a league over the past couple of decades that's had teams come and go, Ottawa included. And so you need the strength in that 10th team, because when you make that, addition, which hopefully won't be too far down the road, you want one that's going to stay.
Awesome. Jeff, enjoy the game tomorrow night. I'm pumped to have the season back, and it should be a good one. Really appreciate your time.
Looking forward to it. Thanks very much for having me on.
There you go. That's Jeff Avery, a Redblacks analyst and Hall of Famer. So it's the Redblacks and the Elks tomorrow night. The Con Man will be out and about. Of course, Connor is back hosting the road watch parties. And Con's in what, Sherwood Park tomorrow night?
Sherlock's in Sherwood Park tomorrow night,
Sherlock
5 o'clock.
In Sherwood Park. Okay, 5 o'clock.
Going to be very interactive this year.
Oh,
yeah, it's going to
really?
Let's just say bring a smartphone.
Bring a smartphone.
You need a QR code, and trivia is going to involve everybody now, not just 2 people.
Not just 2. Okay.
Yeah, it's going to be fun.
All right. Will you be wearing costumes? Or are you dressing up? Like, you're going to dye your beard?
I shaved a little bit.
Yeah.
I'll have Elks gear on.
Will you wear your glasses?
Ooh, maybe.
Yeah, maybe. You know what? Hey, shock everybody. Who's that? Is that Thomas? Yes, it is. It's Thomas in his glasses. That's what we've learned, folks. Connor Halley. I've worked with a guy for 6 years. I found out earlier this week that he wears glasses. I've never seen him wear glasses in my life. It was unbelievable. I'm just like, what? Like, literally, I've never seen him wear glasses. Like, never came in. His eyes were too tired. You know, some people, maybe he lost a contact in a drunken stupor, which some people have. No, never. Always had never had glasses. I didn't even think he had glasses. I didn't even think about it.
That's why you get dailies.
Yeah, well, clearly.
I've lost them in a drunken stupor before, but that was back in the day.
That was young Connor Halley.
Yeah, now that I got the dailies, it doesn't even matter. You just throw them in the trash.
Yeah, very true. 2:40. It's a Gregor Show presented by PlayAlberta.ca. We will take a quick break, and we'll return with more. We got basketball. We got NHL. Lots of rumblings, man. The rumor mill is heating up. We'll get to that and more here on Sports 1440, presented by PlayAlberta.ca.
You don't just need property services. You need problems handled. HireGood provides cleanup, debris removal, site monitoring, and safety attendance across Edmonton. We reduce issues on your property, keep spaces safe, and take pressure off your team. We resolve real problems for businesses while creating real impact because our team is built on second chances and they show up every day ready to prove it. Visit hiregood.ca or call and mention Jason Gregor for a first-time discount. HireGood. Stable jobs create stable lives.
Legacy Heating and Cooling is the #1 air conditioning install company for slushy lovers. Because while a slushy keeps you cool as an 80s song for a moment, AC from Legacy keeps you cold as ice all season long. A permanent full-body slushy sensation keeping you cold as ice with no payments and no interest for 1 year. Keeping you cool without the brain freeze. That's how you build a legacy. Legacy Heating and Cooling.
Cheering on Canada, Mexico, Australia, France, England, Brazil, Germany, Spain, and the rest of the world at the Druid Irish Pub.
Your World Cup headquarters.
Wear your colors, cheer on your team, and enjoy $6.50 Heineken every game.
Plus, your chance to win a ton of World Cup merch,
including hoodies, jerseys, soccer balls, and more.
The Druid Irish Pub, your World Cup headquarters.
Bringing Edmonton together, one soccer game at a time.
The Druid Irish Pub.
Cheer with us in the Mercer Building across from Rogers Place and Ice District. Get the lowdown with Low Tide. Weekdays from noon to 2 on Sports 1440. He's seen it all and then some. From stats to stories, he breaks it down like no one else. Proud to be Edmonton sports leader. Sports 1440.
Cantork has turned 25. That's right, 25 years of building tools so good, they practically torque themselves. Hard work and innovation equals problem solved. See our latest designs at cantork.com.
Everything is going to be okay. Any business, regardless of size, can stumble occasionally. I'm Dan McDicken, a licensed insolvency trustee with Faber. If your business is facing financial challenges, our team of chartered insolvency and restructuring professionals have corporate debt recovery solutions that work. Schedule your free Faber focus session at faber.ca today. Chances of a positive outcome increase if you engage Faber sooner rather than later.
Got a car you're ready to part with? Find out what it's worth, fast, easy, and totally free at Go Auto. We're talking top dollar trade-ins, whether it's a little worn or still rocking that new car smell. Just a few clicks, and boom, you've got your value. Text value to 780-777-7777 to start. That's value to 780 all sevens. Why guess what it's worth? Let Go Auto show you the money.
Are new McCafe crafted sodas just drinks or something more? Like Sprite Berry Bliss, Creamy Strawberry Coke, and Orange Dream. All swirled with fizzy flavor and topped with silky cold foam. Only at McDonald's. At participating McDonald's restaurants in Canada.
Portions of this hour brought to you by the Druid Irish Pub, Edmonton's favorite soccer home. The Druid Irish Pub is back in the Ice District across from Rogers Place. Watch all games with 650 Heineken only at the Druid Irish Pub.
The Jason Gregor Show, the best of Edmonton sports talk and beyond. This is Sports 1440.
Presented by PlayAlberta.ca, Alberta's only regulated online gambling website.
Friday. Oh man, I'm in a great mood. Hope you are too. It's just nice. You know what? It's that time of year. I know hockey fans like, oh geez, hockey's over, and I get it. Frustrated. Your older team is out. I understand it, but there's just so many other sports going on. Like I have to say, like we're 6 days away from the World Cup, and there's actually games in our country. Like I can tell you, it's something I never thought was going to happen. So that's pretty awesome. Now, ticket prices we can have a whole other conversation about, but nonetheless, just having the soccer world watching, and man, the intensity, the excitement of those World Cup matches. Well, at least the ones in Mexico and Canada. I'm not sure what the attendance is going to be like. I'll be interested to watch, because have you seen the ticket sales for some of the places in the U.S.? There's lots of people that are just like, I'm not traveling. I don't want to go. Not how they're running their country right now, and they're going to have to drop prices, man, or they're not. They're going to have some, half-filled stadiums, which is, I don't think, a good look. So that is something to watch for, to see how quickly those ticket prices drop, and you'll see some other people saying, "Oh, maybe it's now in my wheelhouse," because some of the prices are ridiculous. There's no debating that. Let's get to our basketball report, brought to you by Legacy Heating and Cooling, where the rates never change. No overtime charges. That's how you build a legacy at legacyheating.ca. As we are joined by the host of Hoop City, former European player and coach, long time in Canada as well. Paul Sir joins us. Paul, my man, how you doing?
Doing great. NBA Finals, can't beat it. Tone was set the other night in Game 1. Surprise Knicks win. So been looking forward to our conversation, Jason.
Yeah, I picked the Knicks to win this series, man. Like I think the Knicks, like when you win 11 in a row, and I don't care. I know everyone's like, oh, the teams weren't good. I'm like, hey, these are playoff teams. They're still good teams, and you beat them by 262 points. Like even again against San Antonio, they beat them by 10 points. Like they don't win games in overtime or anything. Like they usually just crush teams. And I'll say this, man. Right now, Paul, if I'm in the fourth quarter, there's nobody in the NBA that I want the ball in his hands more than Jalen Brunson. That guy's a stone cold killer in the fourth quarter.
He really is. And what I love about Jalen Brunson is he kills you with whatever you give him, because you can't take everything away from him. And whatever you give him, he's going to kill you. Like the other night, catch and shoot three in the corner. Like any tradition, like any basketball player, anybody can do that, you think. All right, he's open, he takes it, he hits it. But his off-balance shots, right, left, fadeaway, pull-ups, floaters, you name it, he counters everything you throw at him defensively. His basketball IQ makes Einstein look like a drooling moron. Like he is just off the charts. And I couldn't agree with you more. Fourth quarter, give the ball to Jalen.
Yeah, well, why not? And you know what I liked was, after the game, the Knicks were like, man, our offense wasn't very good. right? We won this game with defense. And it was interesting. And I read the article, and now I can't remember the name of the author. And I went to look for it. It's hard, man, in the ocean of the internet to find it. But
kidding.
he did an unbelievable breakdown of every play where Wemby was basically the primary defender, closest to the shooter. And the Knicks were 2 for 16 on those shots. He's such a great disruptor. But the thing was, because a lot of times they pulled him away from the basket, well, they didn't make the initial shot. They would get the rebound and make lots of shots after that. So as a big man yourself, Paul, and you're looking at like, it's kind of a catch-22 because the Spurs, if you don't have Wemby around the paint, they're not very big. They're not a great rebounding team without him. So if you're the Spurs and you say, we want our best defender to be on the ball, attacking guys because he's the best disruptor, but then we can't get the ball back if we don't get the shots. What would you do defensively to alter that?
Well, it's going to be interesting to see how San Antonio tries to keep Wemby closer to the basket and able to respond. Is that going to be running some sort of junk zone for at least part of the night where they're switching everything and keeping Wemby in a particular area so he can move across the lane to move over to Brunson when he goes in, because Brunson will chew everybody up. You hit a real key point, Jason. San Antonio is not very big. They start 4 guards. Every one of their starters would be a 2-3 player on most teams. They do not have a big 4-man who also is going to get in there. They rebound by committee, and they're really athletic, etc. So they're going to have to work their schemes out, and that's a catch-22 as well, because if they switch Wemby off, where he's always guarding someone closer to the basket, they're going to flare out to the corner. So Wemby may come to help, but they may also leave somebody wide open. So it's really going to depend on the defensive rotation that the Spurs are going to be able to execute. So the New York Knicks have the Spurs really thinking right now. If the Spurs are successful, as you point out, nobody can alter shots the way Wemby does. OG Anunoby had a great game the other night. I loved his 3 step fakes and that pull-up jump 3 in the corner. That was an amazing shot. But he airballed a 10-footer by 6 feet just because Wemby was in the area. Like, the Wemby scares everybody. How they can exploit it, that remains to be seen, because the Knicks, you can see their maturity. I did an article this week about the Spurs are trying to take the elevator to the championship. And this isn't a dig at them. They're just really young and inexperienced in playoffs. Where the Knicks, they've been climbing the ladder. 2 rungs up, 3 back. 2 rungs up, 1 back. They have had to fight, scratch, and claw to get to this point. They're a much older, much more mature team. And they know what it takes to get here, and they know how much this means. San Antonio, very young. They're going to have to overcome them with ability as well as some shifts in their strategy. But right now, the Knicks look poised and poised to go out there and compete hard every game and make it a rock fight if that's what it takes.
Yeah, and man, Karl Anthony Towns, when they were down 14, I know that Brunson gets all the credit in the fourth quarter, deservedly so. But I really think the Cats play when they're down, that changed the game, Paul. That got them back in the game, and he was unreal. I know people just look, 18 points. It wasn't just, it was this whole play overall. And honestly, like, I loved his post-game interview. I don't know if you watched it on TV, and he was talking about his mom, but I just love how he said, because they asked, like, man, this is your first NBA game, and there's lots of pressure. And he said, you know what? Like, I know you're supposed to, but he said it was odd. I felt kind of, that my mom was there, and I felt like a kid playing again. And it really resonated with me because, of course, it's stressful, and it's really hard not to be stressed in those situations because you're there and, you dream about being an NBA player or an NHL player or an NFL player, CFL, whatever the sport you play. But then when you get to the championship, sometimes you overwhelm yourself. And it just seemed like he was in such a good place. And I love that interview. And I really love this play on the court. Like, he was dynamic, and man, like, he blew by Wemby a few times, Paul. I'll be honest. I didn't expect that.
Well, one of the most bizarre ways that they play defense in the NBA, and so many teams do this. Why do you guard lightning quick and very good basketball players 45 feet away from the basket? only to get blown by and have your whole defense go into chaos to try to stop the guy. What is Wemby doing 45 feet from the basket into Towns? But you're right. Give the credit where credit's due. Karl Anthony Towns, his numbers are down, but his effectiveness is off the charts. He is doing what's necessary. Brunson in that first half, we were all worried, was he going to be able to play for the rest of the series? Was it his ankle? Was it his knee? Whatever it was, Towns took over. It wasn't the 18-point total that he scored. It's when he scored the 18 points that he did score that made such a difference. And he's a great passer. I mean, Jason, he plays like a point center. Like he's picking people apart now with his passing. He's an excellent three-point shooter. Even though he didn't hit one the other night, everybody's scared of him taking the shot. He's a great free throw shooter, and he's a tremendous rebounder on both sides of the ball. He has matured so much since his days at the Timberwolves, and the fact of the way he's used the loss of his mom to, I think, center him and ground him in the moment that he's in, it really is touching.
Yeah, it totally is. So sports at all levels is all about adjustments and how you adjust to it. The Knicks want to shoot the ball better, no question, in game 2. But what do you feel the Spurs, what changes do you think they will make in game 2?
It's going to be, I'm really interested because, number one, Wemby has to stop thinking he's Allen Iverson and remember that he's 7'5". You know, when he's 25 feet from the basket, dancing with the basketball and everybody's coming to help, it isn't a good look. And that's one of the reasons the other night, you could just tell he was excited. You know, the guy's 22, for goodness sakes. He's unbelievably good. But the other night, he was out of sorts, trying to do too much. I think in the case of the Spurs, offensively, they're going to have to be much more focused in getting to the basket on the Knicks and getting their guards involved. De'Aaron Fox just has to play. He has to make a shot. I mean, that's the guy you would think that you would be depending on. But game 1, he had a terrible game. And so De'Aaron Fox has to be more effective. We have to see the 3 guards. Champagny hit 5 threes in the first half, none in the second. And the way the Knicks adjusted, I've seen the breakdowns on what they did defensively to take away that corner 3 in the second half. It was genius. That's what San Antonio is going to have to do. Find ways to keep Wemby closer to the basket, to be more disruptive as the Knicks attack. Keep Josh Hart off. I mean, Josh Hart is like the Tasmanian devil in the old Bugs Bunny commercials. Like, the guy is out there just wreaking havoc. He's another guy. You don't look at stats and think Josh Hart's contributing to the game. But, I mean, he had, I think, 14 rebounds the other night. How many 50-50 balls did he get? I mean, he's just fantastic. So the Spurs, both sides of the ball, they're mature. Their inexperience is going to have to be overcome by a real solid game plan to get better shots for their key players, get Wemby closer to the basket, and then be able to offset Brunson's masterful penetration to the basket as well.
Paul Sir joins us. Paul, quickly, give me your thoughts on the start of the Stinger season.
Underwhelming. Now, you know, the CEBL, like we've talked many times, is such a moving target. It's a lava lamp of basketball. I mean, it's just all over the place and changing all the time. People say they could be 4-1. Yeah, they or 5-1. They could, but they're not, and they lose every close game. And that's something they've got to overcome. They've added some good players. Like, their talent, top to bottom, is pretty good. And the other night, they did everything again going into target time with a lead. And again, you hate to say it this way, but another game where they found a way to lose. They're just not able to finish. I think the rotations have to get more solid. They seem to be too democratic to me, where everybody's playing about the same amount of minutes. And you got to figure out who your stars are. But they have talent, even though they lost their real good player to NBA trials, because that kid's really good. And if they get him back, that'll be great. But they brought in some good players. You know what? I think when they go into Montreal tomorrow, or on Sunday rather, they'll be right there. And it's a 24-game season. So we're 6 games into it. We're a quarter of the way through. But there's a lot more that this team, I think, they could get on a roll. So far, like I said, kind of underwhelming.
Yeah, totally fair. Paul, have an awesome weekend. What's coming up on the show tomorrow?
We're going to be doing a lot, of course, on the NBA playoffs. We have our community champions on. We have Brad Farish from SFX, perennial provincial championship contender. And we're going to talk a lot of 3x3. We're going to be talking about the World Cup, where the Canadian women did not qualify for playoffs for the first time in a long time. But we're going to talk about the World Cup. We're going to be talking about how 3x3 is changing as we ramp up for the Olympics in 2028 in Los Angeles. So lots of NBA. We'll do a little WNBA, some 3x3, local basketball. So we'll try to get it all done, Jason.
Well, fit it all in, Paul. Have fun, man. We'll be listening tomorrow morning, 10 a.m. right here on Sports 1440. Have a great day.
Yeah, you too. Thanks, Jason.
There you go. That's Paul, sir. From Hoop City every Saturday morning, 10 till noon on Sports 1440. It is 2:59. Jason Gregor, Connor Halley, Declan Kruger is here. We'll talk with the D-man a little bit later on, find out what he learned about in Italy. Also, he came back just in time. He didn't want to miss the season opener of the green and gold, so he is back for that. Let's get to the con man for a Sports 1440 update brought to you by Hire Good. For professional property services that you can feel good about, get Hire Good. Site cleanup, debris removal, seasonal maintenance, and more. Stable jobs, create stable lives. HireGood.ca.
This is a Sports 1440 update.
Montreal Canadiens captain Nick Suzuki was named a winner of the Frank J. Selke Trophy as the forward who best excelled in the defensive aspect of the game, while his teammate Cole Caulfield getting a lady being as the player judged who exhibited the best type of sportsmanship and genuinely conduct combined with a high standard of playing ability. Longtime NHL general manager Cliff Fletcher passed away earlier today at the age of 90, a Hockey Hall of Famer. He won a couple of the Flames in 1989. Game 2 of the NBA Finals goes tonight from San Antonio. Spurs and Knicks tip off 6:30. Knicks beat that series 1-9 in the majors. Jays taking on the Orioles. They'll send Trey Savage to the mound. First pitch, 5:07. We'll join that game in progress on our AM feed immediately following the Jason Gregor Show at 6 o'clock. Elsewhere, Cubbies at home trail the Giants 9-0 heading into the 6th. Later today, White Sox, Phillies, Tigers host the Mariners. You got the Rays and the Marlins, Astros, Athletics, Guardians in Texas, Rockies host the Brewers, the Angels get the Dodgers. In the CFL, week 1 rolls on. Calgary and Winnipeg, 7 o'clock from Calgary. And tomorrow, the Elks kick off their season in Ottawa. That one starting at 5 o'clock. One last tune-up for the World Cup for Canada. They'll take on Ireland in Montreal at 5 o'clock. And the Riverhawks staying on the island for the weekend. They will be taking on Nanaimo tonight at 7:35. Coming up in hour 2 of the Jason Gregor Show, we'll be joined by our co-host, Wanye Gretz. Also, Mick Kern from Sirius XM NHL, and we'll hear Cam Tate's 2-minute warning. I'm Connor Halley. This has been a Sports 1440 update.
This is Sports 1440, a Stingray radio station broadcasting on Treaty 6 territory.
Download the free iHeartRadio app and listen to CKJR wherever you go.
With Play Alberta, backing the home team goes beyond the bets. That's because your picks have provincial impact. Play Alberta is the only app in the province that puts all revenue directly back into supporting programs and services that Albertans rely on every day. By investing in the General Revenue Fund, every play, bet, and buy made on Play Alberta helps make a difference across the province. Visit playalberta.ca/Gregor to learn more. That's playalberta.ca/Gregor. Must be 18 plus to play. If you gamble, use your game sense.
Looking for a solid 4x4 that checks all the boxes? The 2026 Jeep Compass is in stock now at St. Albert Dodge, and this is a great value, starting from just $36,900. It's a Jeep, so you've got 4x4 capability, plus features like an 8.4-inch touchscreen, Apple CarPlay, active lane management, a Park View rear backup camera, and more. Over 30 in stock right now in just about every color you'd want. Head up the trail and see how easy it is to do business at St. Albert Dodge.
Mr. Rooter buries evidence in the desert.
I didn't mean to do it. I was forced into it. Yeah, forced. But now, no one will ever know. You've done well, Mr. Rooter. You did something awful, but you covered your tracks. It's done. The last transcript that shows I did a semester of Christian school.
Uncover evidence of the proudest plumber, Mr. Rooter.
You got a go-to coffee spot, a trusted barber,
fan.
Lucky game day jersey. But without looking your absolute best, there's only one name you need, Mr. Dirk. Family run since 1939. We're experts in crafting impeccable tailor-made suits and offering a wide variety of everyday styles. Pair that with personalized one-on-one fittings and the convenience of tailoring. Mr. Dirk, elevate your style game. Visit our Edmonton store or explore MrDirk.com. Score big on style with Mr. Dirk.
Hey, hon, I'm getting expressions and images to frame my hockey card collection in the man cave.
Perfect. I'll come with you and bring our wedding photos.
For sports memorabilia and family treasures, think Expressions and Images, your local custom framer since 91. You name it, we frame it.
Don't let equipment failure stop you cold. At AWS Welding in Nisku, our factory-trained service techs are on hand for all welding equipment repairs. We're a fully warranted center for Miller, Lincoln, and ESAB. And we service all makes and models. Proper, regular service extends the life of your gear and keeps it running at peak capacity. Don't wait for a breakdown. Book your service appointment today at 780-979-0470. AWS Welding. We make it happen.
Bashaw Concrete Products. From concrete and septic tanks to blocks, precast water pads, jersey barriers, and aggregates. Farmers, contractors, homeowners. Plan your next project at BashawConcrete.com. Family owned. Over 60 years pouring. Bashaw Concrete Products. Once again, start here. BashawConcrete.com.
Cougar Creek Golf Resort is now open and in great condition. Experience our championship-length golf course, surrounded by trees and rolling terrain, and only minutes from Edmonton. Book a tee time today. Go to CougarCreekGolf.com and click on Golf.
Portions of this hour brought to you by Cantork. We offer sale, rental, repair, and calibration of hydraulic, pneumatic, and battery-powered torque wrenches, stud tensioners, and flange maintenance equipment. Order today at Cantork.com.
The Jason Gregor Show. The best of Edmonton sports talk and beyond. This is Sports 1440.
Presented by PlayAlberta.ca, Alberta's only regulated online gambling website.
Positive Friday. How you doing? Jason Gregor, Connor Halley, Declan Kruger, Sports 1440, sports1440.ca. The D-Man is, of course, monitoring things over YouTube, Facebook, X, and Instagram, and Twitch. So give him a thumbs up. Ask him about his trip. Ask him what he liked best about Italy. How many steps did he get? I'd be curious to know. Get your microphone on over there, D-Man, so we can get you on, because I have a few questions to ask about lovely Italy. And you know what? I wonder, is it a country in mourning with the World Cup beginning and Italy once again not being in it? Like that's like they're a football nation, and it's funny they haven't been in the World Cup now since 2014. Like, that is just wild to me. So, Deck, when you were over in Italy, was that a big talking point? Did people talk about the fact that Italy once again, or have they just now become accustomed that they can't get in the World Cup, even though they've won the Euro in that time?
Yeah, I'm sure if I had really dived into it with the locals, it would have been, kind of a sore spot. No one was really, like, a lot of it was about local clubs, but I think that was just because they're shifting their direction to their local clubs because there's no World Cup this year. But there's such a football mad nation. Like, it's the equivalent of us not making the Olympics in hockey, right? Like,
oh yeah,
it's a really big deal over there. But I think it's just one of, like, they're such a free-spirited kind of people that they seem to just figure out ways to kind of keep the ball rolling in whatever they do.
Yeah. What was your favorite part of Italy?
So I had a papal audience on Wednesday, June 3rd, where the Pope obviously comes out in his Pope mobile, greets the crowd, says hey to the babies. And it was pretty surreal. Like, I was pretty close to the Pope, and it's like one of the most famous people on the planet. So being that close was really surreal, really cool. But like everything, like getting to see the Sistine Chapel with my own eyes, getting to see the Statue of David with my own eyes, like St. Peter's Basilica, the Colosseum, like all this stuff. It seems so foreign to us. Like, we read about it in textbooks or we see it on the internet and we're like, hey, that's That's a piece of history. That's kind of cool. Then you go there and you see with your own eyes and you stand where the Romans stood or where St. Peter. It's so surreal. Like everything was really cool. But seeing the Pope, that was.
Was the Pope Mobile out?
The Pope Mobile was out. He was riding around. He was waving people. So
how's his wave? Is it one of these waves or is it a very serious wave? What's the Pope wave?
He's got it down, but you can tell he had to be trained. You can tell someone had to get in his ear and tell him how to wave a little bit. It's crazy because you have to. So the security line for Vatican City, because it's like a country in and of itself, but it's kind of not. That opens at 7:30. For this papal audience, you got to get in line at 6 a.m. He doesn't come out till 9:40. But parents will stand on the railings with their babies and just hand them to his security guards to then hand to the Pope, and he'll bless the baby or whatever. It's very cool stuff.
So the security guard's fairly important in this process.
I would say definitely the second most important person there for sure.
Were people, because I've seen you see it at concerts, some people just get really overwhelmed, they're crying. We've seen people, and I'm I can't relate to that. I've never, you go back in the histories of musicians, and it happens still now. They're like, oh my God, and you see some people fainting, and I'm just I don't know, I don't have that in me. I couldn't ever be biggest sports fan and person in the world. I would never faint or be like, oh my God, I couldn't do it.
Have you ever been starstruck in your entire life?
Not I know we were in our household, we were raised my dad would always say, everybody puts their pants on one leg at a time, right? And it goes obviously some people can be more successful or they're more well known, but there's still just people. I would say, the first time I interviewed Wayne Gretzky was a little bit holy crap, I'm interviewing Wayne Gretzky here. Hey, and it was actually, I wouldn't even say that. Probably the weirdest was one time when, years later, I'm walking in the arena and Wayne's like, hey, Jason, how you doing? Talk to me first without me. I was sitting, he came up to me and I'm kind of oh yeah, hey Wayne, how you doing? Right. And it's after a few minutes, you're oh yeah, whatever. But that was probably the closest maybe, but I definitely wasn't I didn't feel the sweats come on or anything like that.
What about Shaq?
No, not really. I don't know. I'd seen him on TV so much and he seemed just kind of a normal dude. He's a big guy, but again, I looked like the ventriloquist dummy when I met the Mountain. So, I definitely was only wearing a solid color shirt when I went to meet Shaq. And, and he was really nice, but somebody like that, we're there for the interview. And so that was fine. And, had a few jokes like that and stuff. But, he's there. It wasn't just we're out. I think if you're out and about somewhere and you bump into someone and actually have a conversation, it would be different where this was kind of work. So I'm okay, I'm just here working. And it's Shaquille O'Neal, and he's obviously a great guy, but you watch him on TNT enough. So it kind of is just oh yeah, some good dude, but he is a huge human. Yeah. So no, so did people were people fainting and screaming?
Right. I forgot there was a question in there. Sorry. Yeah. They no one was fainting and screaming, but people were pretty overwhelmed. For sure. Cause there were pilgrims from all types of different countries, and some of the Brazil, Mexico, very heavily Catholic countries. So some of them they were pretty deal. But the other thing is it was pouring rain. It was really? Pouring rain. And I went out there, I didn't check the weather or anything. I went out in a t-shirt, no umbrella. I was just standing there in the pouring rain, getting absolutely drenched. And this is I could go, I don't want to take up too much of this segment, but another thing the Pope does in that general audience on Wednesdays is if you're a newly married couple within the last 6 months, you can show up and get blessed by the Pope. So there were people in you have to wear full wedding attire. So there were women in wedding dress. Yeah.
In a wedding dress and suits, and they're just getting rained on.
Yes. And I was so this is the other thing. Out there, you got a lot of street vendors, right? So there were these people who were selling their umbrellas and ponchos for €5 or whatever. But it was our second last day in Italy. So I had €2 left. I had no money for these umbrellas. So I was standing out there in the pouring rain in a t-shirt, only person with no umbrella, no poncho, nothing.
Was it a warm rain at least?
It was freezing cold. I was am I going to get pneummonia? Am I going to get hypothermia?
That is awesome. So a good trip though. You
Great
recommend
trip.
It?
Oh, I highly recommend it. But one thing is, two things actually. One, you got to be prepared to walk everywhere and walk 30,000 steps a day.
Yeah.
The other thing I would say is it is very touristy. So prepare to be overwhelmed by the tourists at Coliseum, Pantheon, things like
big
that.
lineup.
Long lines, and also just the whole kind of culture surrounding tourism. You get a lot of people who are kind of trying to scam you. There are a lot of pickpockets in the area.
Oh.
There's a lot of tour. I don't want to I don't want to single out a single nationality or anything, but America, a little bit more brash and loud, and like we're the superpower of the world who kind of take things away from the experience. So just things like that to watch out for.
Okay.
Yeah.
I like it.
Great trip though.
Well, happy to have you back, and just in time for CFL. Well, what an opening night! If you watched the Hamilton-Montreal game last night, goes to overtime. You can't ask for a better opening night in the CFL tonight. You got Winnipeg, Calgary, and then of course the Elks taking on the Redblacks tomorrow, 5:00 Edmonton time. I like this text. Hey guys, I'll make fun of people crying at a Taylor Swift concert, but if 97 lifts the cup in Rogers, I'll be bawling like a baby. I like the honesty, Nick, in Grand Prairie. And you know what? I'm sure there are some fans who would get maybe more emotionally overwhelmed than they expect if their team, like you've been a diehard Oilers fan for decades, and not one of the fans who was lucky enough to see them win in the 80s and 1990, but a fan, basically, any fan who's since 91, you haven't seen the team win. You've seen them lose 3 times, twice in Game 7 in the Stanley Cup Final, like brutal. So I could see how, you might stand there and be like, Seinfeld, what's this salty discharge here? All of a sudden you're like, I'm not a crier, but I'm. And it is funny, though, about guys. You will cry at a sports movie probably much more likely than you would at like a rom-com or something, right? For sure. But you watch one of those, even like a sports commercial that has like, some underdog success story, and you're just like, oh, geez. And then your wife's looking at you like, this is what you'll cry about? But you won't cry about some, dad. Well, yeah, whatever. But it's true. Like, I know guys like that. And many of you are listening right now and probably chuckling, knowing that you'd be like, yeah, I get way more emotional about sports than I do something else. It's awesome. It's good. Hey, you got whatever your tickles your emotional bone, away you go. I don't have a problem with it. Hey, guys, never mind. I started crying when the Oilers went to the Cup final. I thought for sure we're going to win. It was going to be our year. Well, true, right? Like people, I know guys like Wanye had a girl dump him in 2006 because she saw him crying after they lost.
Yeah, like 1 a.m, I was still crying.
Because you were obviously were you a little inebriated?
It was a long buildup. I'd been inebriated for about 8 straight weeks at this point. But just the emotion and how unfair it all felt overwhelmed me. I hadn't cried since grade 6.
But you cried then.
Yeah, so it's a pretty good 20-year gap.
Yeah. Hey, guys, you're bang on. Rudy makes me cry. No other movie has, from Dan. And Top Guy and a few others both saying Rudy. It's funny about, like, Rudy was good. Like, but there's, like, other sports movies, man. Like, Remembering the Titans? That one. Ooh. I don't want to ruin it for anybody in case you haven't seen it, but Brian can't really accuse me of spoiler alert for a movie that's been out there for that long. Brian's Song, I don't care who you are. If you watch Brian's Song and you don't cry, I will question if you have any emotion in your body. That is easily, for me, I think, the saddest sports movie ever. And it was done so well. And you've never seen it, have you? Oh, you should see it, buddy. It's phenomenal. It's phenomenal. Cons, you're a football guy. Did you see that?
Yeah, I did. It's a good movie. Didn't cry.
Yeah, but you don't cry, though. Like,
No.
you're one of those guys like Connor. Like, what about when the Chargers lost the Super Bowl? Did you cry?
No, I was 7. I wasn't a fan yet.
Oh.
I will, but the thing is, like, I'm not trying to be macho. I'm just saying, if you show me a real life story, I'll cry. Like, that's what gets it for me. Movies just don't do it. I can't. I guess I'm not.
So,
invested.
documentary?
Documentary for sure.
Okay, so tell us, what have you cried at?
Oh, I'll tell you the one. They have the Make-A-Wish videos that they did with ESPN for a long time, and the Seattle Seahawks fan who won't have his Make-A-Wish come true unless his dad is there with him, who's in the Army.
Yeah.
And then they surprise when they fly his dad back, and then he gets to meet Pete Carroll and Richard Sherman, Russell Wilson. That one does it to me all the time. It's such a good one. The little running back who played for Nebraska, he was had terminal cancer, and they brought him to play on the field. Like those types of stories, 100%.
Okay, hey
But
man,
movies don't do it for me.
Well,
But, like,
Brian's Song got it for me. What
Man.
about like Marley and Me? I know dog owners. That one gets them. You're not a dog owner though, guy, are you?
I was.
You what?
R.I.P. Panda. I don't know if I've seen Marley and Me.
Oh, Marley
so-
and Me. But see, I watched Marley and Me, and that one didn't make me cry. Old Yeller when I was a kid. Whoa, that one was a tough one for a kid, man.
That's a tough scene. In
Oh, geez, Old Yeller is a It's a tough one. No question. So 833-401-1440. Hey, boys, when the Cubs won the World Series, there were tears. Fans since 84 from Loaderman. Yeah, see, there you go. I get it. You stand there. You just get a little bit overwhelmed. You're like, God, I've committed a lot of time here. Right? I'm sure if there's anybody that you know that wins, you probably get a little bit more emotionally connected to it. I would think for sure. You always see it, moms or dads, right? You see it for lots of different things. People, when your own child has something pretty special or something horrific, obviously that will get the tears for you. But I haven't experienced that yet. So I'm sure I will at some point, right? Like some people when they're, their kid crosses the stage of graduation. It's a big thing for some, especially if you didn't graduate yourself. I find that it's a little bit more emotional for those people just because they're just like, man, you know what? Like I'm awesome because you feel like, hey, maybe you're giving your kids something better potentially, right? It's always how it goes. Hey, Gregor, what about where the red fern grows? Team Dean. True. Connor, did you watch that too? I heard you laughing.
Declan immediately was like, yeah, and like said it got him.
Oh God, yes. You haven't seen it, Wanye?
No.
Oh, buddy. It's the it's about like this it's during the Great Depression, a young boy. What was his name?
Oh.
Billy? I think it was Billy. And it's about these puppies. Oh, buddy, it is yes, that's a very good one. Like we should movies that make you cry, because guys are different. Like I'll admit it now. Like I was never really a big crier till my father passed away, and I kind of joked about it. And when you all of a sudden you're at a church and there's tons of people there, I was kind of not. I didn't do his eulogy, but it's 3 kids spoke, and my brother spoke, then my sister spoke. My sister was only 20 at the time, which was really hard, and for her, and just didn't have much to say, but said a little bit, and then I came up there and started talking about my dad, and I had rehearsed, I have bullet points and what we're going to talk about. And all of a sudden I get up there and I'm talking and I'm just like, oh my God, I'm going to start crying. Like what is going on right now? Like, oh, it was and not like, just like, oof, it was brutal. And, but then I told a few stories because I'm like, hey, my dad was here to want to laugh and we had a lot of funny stories, but and then tell some stories laughing. And then all of a sudden you're crying again. And I remember sitting down being like, oh my God, that's so embarrassing. I can't believe I just cried in front of people. Because at that stage of your life, I'd never done it before. So it was just odd. But I had a few buddies come up to me afterwards and like, they were fine with it, but they're laughing. It was kind of the first time in my life. Like I remember I saw my uncles cry when my grandfather died. Right. And that was kind of like, oh, gee, but not like they didn't speak. Like speak crying. It's, you know how it is. It's kind of the worst. Right. Like someone's trying to talk and then they start crying and but if someone's sitting there and they cry, it doesn't seem to impact me as much if someone's talking, they start crying. I'm just like, oh my God. And so now it's like the worst. Like now I'll cry at something like that's not even sad. And I'm like, God, you were there when my wife, remember when I was doing that stupid, it was a fun event. It was great for, they did the kind of with Special Olympics and we did the Dancing with the Stars. And I'm speaking about my partner. And I'm actually really proud of her. She did awesome. And then all of a sudden I kind of started tearing up. And you're at the table and you're just like, oh God, what's going on? And you look over, my wife's laughing. She's like, oh yeah, he's not even that sad. Now he's going to be mad that he's just started crying. Because now it just, at certain stages, just comes out now. Even if I'm not sad. So it's like the worst. I like to blame my dad. It's like, screw you.
I didn't know what to do. I was like, oh no, Gregor's crying. Should we boil water, get some towels?
Yeah. So that was a fun one. So yeah, my wife's used to it now. She'll just kind of start laughing. But, because she was never really a crier until we had our son.
There's another time I've seen you cry. It's at the Gregor's grads. You get emotional every year, but you're a good guy.
Yeah,
but every point in this speech, it hits you every year.
Oh yeah. Well, there's always, because every year I just got a letter from a graduating student's grandmother yesterday. Thank God I'm not reading that on the air right now. But it was like some of these, like they really pour their hearts out, and you're just like, holy cow! Like we're actually really making an impact on someone. And I always read the book about gratitude, and the biggest thing that impacts people is when someone shows them gratitude for an action that they did. So if there's anybody out there on Positive Friday that's done something nice for you, even if you write them like a 10-word sentence thanking them, man, that really meant something to me a lot, you will make their day. And it's true. Anytime someone shows gratitude, you're just like, oh, wow. That's like, makes you feel better. It'll fill your bucket for sure. But we'll say this.
I I'm just looking at the Where the Red Fern Grows here.
Dude,
and it says,
watch that movie. I guarantee you'll cry.
Well, it says the saddest part is the double tragedy of the hound's death.
Yeah. Don't.
I don't even know what we're talking about.
Yeah.
And that sounds like the saddest thing I've ever heard of in my life.
Oh, no, it is. Deck, you've seen it?
Yeah. One of the saddest movie I think I've ever seen. It's the whole dog thing, right? Like you talk about Old Yeller. I don't know if you guys have ever seen My Dog Skip. That was another one. Waterworks. But Where the Red Fern Grows,
Yeah.
saddest I've ever been.
52 years ago, that movie came out.
Oh, yeah, 1961.
Oh, it says 74, but who knows?
Oh, I thought it was 1960.
Emotion is timeless.
That's true. I cried at the end of MVP.
Oh, no, the book came out in 61. Sorry, you're right. Yeah, the book came out in 61. But it is, I'm telling you, if you need a good cry, you're like, you know what? My tear ducts haven't been in a workout lately. Watch Where the Red Fern Grows. You don't even have to be a dog person. Like even a heartless guy who wears glasses that we don't know about for 6 years and uses the middle name, even he would cry at Red Fern Grove. Cons, I would guarantee it. If you watch that movie, you'll cry.
I will say, since Benny was born, things get to me a little bit. So, yeah, I don't deny that.
Oh, yeah, no, it's true. That's normal dad thing. That's all good. Lots of guys out there. Hey, boys, when the Rangers won the cup, I cried because almost half the team were former Oilers from Alex. It's true. Quick break. We'll return on the Gregor Show presented by PlayAlberta.ca. We got lots of sports to get to. Mick Kern's going to join us. How about that game last night? I'll say this about the Stanley Cup final. Even if, obviously, I know Oiler fans, you don't love Vegas. But if you're just watching as a fan of hockey, those first two games have been highly entertaining, man. And what about Brett Howden? See his 2 goals last night? His second goal around one of the greatest defensive defensemen in the game right now. No big deal. Brett Howden's on fire. How about scoring more goals in the playoffs than you score all regular season? He's the first player in NHL history who scored 12 goals in the regular season or less, but scored more in the playoffs. Stunning. Take a quick break. We'll return to Gregor Show presented by PlayAlberta.ca.
Cheering on Canada, Mexico, Australia, France, England, Brazil, Germany, Spain, and the rest of the world at the Druid Irish Pub.
Your World Cup headquarters.
Wear your colors, cheer on your team, and enjoy $6.50 Heineken every game.
Plus, your chance to win a ton of World Cup merch,
including hoodies, jerseys, soccer balls, and more.
The Druid Irish Pub, your World Cup headquarters.
Bringing Edmonton together, one soccer game at a time.
The Druid Irish Pub.
Cheer with us in the Mercer Building across from Rogers Place in Ice District.
Say hello to your new favorite drinks. Introducing new McCafe Refreshers. Icy cool, undeniably refreshing, and available in 3 flavors. Strawberry watermelon, mango pineapple, and blackberry passion fruit. Only at McDonald's.
It doesn't start on game day. It starts before kickoff, before the first snap. It starts with you locking in your season seats. This is Edmonton Elks football. The only way to experience it is being there for every hit, catch, and touchdown. The Elks home opener kicks off June 20th against Montreal. Your season seats are your way in. Get yours now at goelks.com/season seats. Edmonton Elks. Our city, our year.
At Hughes, it's all about getting in and out quick and clean. No cash, no problem. With Hughes' new tap and wash system, all you need is your debit or credit card to get your vehicle sparkling clean.
Find us at hughescarwash.com.
Just in time for the big game, score big savings at the Brick. Save up to $1,300 off sofas. Save up to 50% on open box TVs. Plus, save up to 40% on select mattresses. And Friday to Monday, score even bigger with limited time specials and amazing door crasher deals in every department. Like the Arbor Queen bed, just $199. Or a Frigidaire top freezer fridge, just $349. See store for details and exclusions. The Brick, saving you more.
Air conditioning from Legacy Heating and Cooling is like a country love song because you always know exactly what you're getting. Cause girl, you're hotter than Tennessee, cooler than Legacy's AC, blowing that southern breeze over me. Wheat fields, cold beer, pickup trucks, John Deere. You see, Legacy is that predictable because Legacy always has AC in stock and will install it faster than a truck burning down a back road. Plus, no interest and no payments for 1 year. That's how you lasso your Legacy. Legacy Heating and Cooling.
Sports to this hour brought to you by Emerald Equipment. Emerald Equipment is Edmonton's newest dealer for Yanmar compact equipment. Machines built tough for the jobs that don't quit. Get your new Yanmar compact track loaders with ASB Posi Track and Emerald Equipment.
The Jason Gregor Show, the best of Edmonton sports talk and beyond. This is Sports 1440.
Presented by PlayAlberta.ca, Alberta's only regulated online gambling website.
A lot of good texts in on movies that will tear you up. But I do love this one from Jason. Hey guys, they showed where the red fern grows in school in the gymnasium at our elementary school, K-9. I was in grade 2. The entire school was bawling, including teachers. I'll never forget it. Oh, that one. Bunch of kids together. Oh yeah, that is it is a really good movie, but man alive. Like, I still remember as a kid when I watched Bambi the first time, and I was young, and I don't know how old I was, 8 or 9, but I'd never seen, like, when they killed Bambi's mom, like 3 minutes into the movie, and you're just like, I remember that one as a kid being like, holy cow. Like, I don't recall crying. I just remember feeling like, oh my God. Like, I don't think I'd ever seen, like, obviously wasn't watching a ton of movies as a young kid, but that's the first time I'd ever really kind of seen death. And I was a farm kid. I'd seen animals die before, but it was just kind of different the way they presented it.
It's crazy that they allow that to be the plot of Bambi.
Yeah, but it's fair. Well, it's not the plot. It's just one of the parts. But that's
the start of the movie. There's 80 years of kids being like, what just happened?
It was definitely early in the movie. So it caught you off guard for sure. So, but that's a good start, man. It's what you want. It gets your attention right away. It is the Gregor Show presented by PlayAlberta.ca. Well, hey, we'll get your attention. $15 million tonight up for grabs in Lotto Max. Get your tickets, PlayAlberta.ca, as it is time to go around the NHL, brought to you by McDonald's. And get your attention. $1 drink. It's summertime, baby. And you can get a small fountain drink or a small iced coffee for only $1 plus tax all summer long, only at McDonald's, as we're joined now by Mick Kern from Sirius XM. And I'm pretty sure this might be the first time Mick's been on our show, which is weird because I listen to him almost daily on my drive in. Mick, how you doing, my man?
Well, then you hear me quote you all the time, don't you?
Well, the odd time, that's true.
Yeah,
I do credit you. I love that you do that. So that is very nice.
No, thanks for asking me. No, I love your stuff. I do quote you a lot. I think in a world of pro sports, particularly hockey, that is just full of irrational thought. No, he didn't ask me to say this, folks. I think you're pretty rational, and I try to look for that as a fan. My friends, when we used to go to games at the Forum in Montreal, because I got stuck in Ottawa forever. That was the closest NHL team in the 80s. They used to say I was the only guy in the arena wearing a ref shirt. So that's how I try to go at it, try to be impartial. Yeah. That's why when it comes to baseball and I'm watching, I'm totally impartial. I love the Tiger Cats getting beat by the Owls last night. So I try to be impartial in every sport but hockey. But I'm not saying it succeeds, Jason.
Yeah, well, that's fair, right? But you're trying to be partial most times, so that's good. Yeah. I'll say this Stanley Cup final, 2 games in, one of the most entertaining starts to a Stanley Cup final than I can recall, man. Like, it's been wild and crazy. We got goals that I actually didn't mind the challenge from Vegas. It's gutsy. The players want it, so the coach does it. It doesn't work. And I get why you challenge it, because Carolina's power play had stunk. Like, Vegas had killed off, I think, 46 to 52 at that point. Carolina was terrible. And then they scored 2 power plays in the last basically 8 minutes of the game, including overtime, to win. Like, completely wild and unexpected.
Yeah, you roll the dice, and as we know, I'm not trying to beat up the NHL here in the Situation Room, or in this case, they're actually on site for the Stanley Cup final. But you never know what the call is going to be, too. And it ended up not costing them the game in the sense that they were able to tie it up after the power play goal went in. You don't know the trajectory of the game's going to go, the way the river's going to change when you step in it. But I'll say this. I thought the first game was outstanding entertainment, and I really don't care who wins. I don't have a hate on for Vegas like other people. Carolina fans think I hate them, which is hilarious because I picked them every round, including this series in 7. I thought the second game, Jason, took a while to get going. Carolina were clearly the better team in the first period, but that's goaltending for you. Second period was a snooze fest. That's when I started checking out the Owls and the Tiger Cats. I know I'm not supposed to, but I got the flipper going.
Yeah.
When Stankoven scored the greasy goal, the wraparound goal, the Gilmore on Curtis Joseph goal, the goal that you needed something, I think that ignited the powder keg inside Raleigh. And that's when we had a great game for the next 10 minutes and then the 4.5 in overtime. That 15 minutes was as good as the first game. And I've still got friends and family telling me I'm not watching this. I don't like Vegas. Carolina bores me. And I'm like, oh, man, give it a chance. I think you're going to agree that they're missing something. And I got a feeling this is going down to the last seconds of Game 7. It's like Edmonton, Florida 2 years ago.
Oh, I hope so. It was because the start's been amazing. I'm watching last night, and the Stankoven goal, that's a great one. To me, was the second Brett Howden goal. Like Brett Howden right now, to be the first player in NHL history to score, guy who had, I think it's 10 or less than 12 goals, but has scored more goals in the playoffs. He's the first guy ever to do it. He's got 13. And that goal against Jacob Slavin, and then to slide it past Anderson, that's an elite goal scorer's goal, man. And it was fascinating to see. I kind of thought when he scored that, I'm like, man, Vegas is going to win this game, and they're going to go up 2-0.
Oh, absolutely. Slavin is, I often hear from people, if there was a defensive defenseman award, he'd win it every year. Well, he wasn't winning it last night. That happens. He can recover. I think that was the case, Jason, last night, that if Vegas gets the third goal, the game's over. Maybe the series is over. The fact that they inserted themselves back into that game, took the lead, and then Vegas are never dead. They are the zombie you keep hitting over the head. They keep coming at you. Is better for us, the rest of us 30 fan bases who just want to see some good hockey before the baseball all-star game begins. And I think that injected life back into the series. And I think it should be 1-1 because I'm sure you're the same. You can make the argument Vegas could be up 2-0. I can make the argument Carolina could be up 2-0.
Yeah.
And so to me, 1-1 is the proper position where this series should be, with two intriguing teams who don't play the same style. And this one gets me. And I said this on the air, and someone challenged me. I'm fine with that. I said, just look at NHL.com. Carolina scored the second most goals in the league this year. We think of them as a defensive first team. Only Colorado scored more goals than the Carolina Hurricanes, but we don't think of them as an offensive juggernaut.
Yeah, probably because their top guys aren't top offensive guys, right? And like Seth, they needed that goal. Aho gets the assist, but Seth Jarvis, like if they're going to have any chance to win, they needed goals from those three guys. And one of them. And so that I look at Seth Jarvis, and I wonder how much of a relief that'll potentially be for him. But where do you come out on Svechnikov, Aho, and Jarvis? And they've obviously been the core group of that team for 5 years for Jarvis, and obviously longer for Svechnikov, and even longer for Aho. If they don't win, do you think it comes down to simply that their offensive top guys simply aren't good enough?
Yes, I think it does. I think it's fair. I mean, that comes with the territory. The money that Aho signed when he got the offer sheet from Montreal. He's a star. I don't use the word superstar. I don't use the word superstar as much as other people do. To me, that's Connor McDavid. That's Leon Draisaitl. Those are superstars. Stars would be guys like Sebastian Aho. Good player. Just under a point per game. I think he was just one under. But the thing is, he's their top offensive player. That's their top line. But you know this, Jason. We always joke, you rip the nameplates off the back of the uniform and just roll them out like the Red Army at you, because that's what they are. 1, 2, 3, and 4. There's not that much difference, but there's enough of a difference. Now, the Stankoven line has been going, but they need even half that production from the first line, or they're not going to win a Stanley Cup. Or if they do, I will be surprised. And I do think the same way that Thomas Hertl, when he scored against Anaheim in a loss, but you could see the release in his face, like the relief that, okay, I've done this now. And now he's shown up for Vegas. I think I saw that in Jarvis last night. He wasn't just celebrating the goal. He was celebrating the fact, I still know how to do this. And I give full credit. I give full credit to Vegas for shutting down the lane. They're doing to Carolina what Carolina overwhelmingly did to Montreal in the Eastern Conference Final. They suffocated them. Now, Vegas aren't doing it to the same degree. Carolina's a better team than Montreal. They were going to win that series regardless, in my opinion. But that's what, hey, now you see how the other half lives. That's why I thought it's huge to have that comeback. Interestingly enough, both teams had comebacks, and there was 2 comebacks in the game last night. And when I'm watching a sporting event, I don't want it to be like an F1 race in the 90s where it was just who starts, who ends. It's like a procession. I want to not know the outcome. I want to be challenged. And I think that's what happened in this series, that you really don't know what's going to happen. And I think both goalies have actually played pretty well. Anderson made some nice saves last night.
Mick Kern joins us from Sirius XM. Yeah, like looking at save percentage and goals against isn't always the best indicator.
No.
If teams are giving up lots of good chances and we have more skilled players, well, then they're going to score some goals, and that's just going to happen. So, like none of the goals I looked and said, "Oh my God, like those were terrible goals." So I would agree with you on that one. Some other NHL news: the Nashville Predators, they go out, they get McFarland, and now they hire Rob Blake. What do you make of the new management group in Nashville?
I guess they're doing the reset. They're taking it serious. They're recycling guys. Now, Rob Blake's known because he was such a great player, great defenseman. It's interesting because I've heard from Kings fans like, "Hey, good riddance. We're happy with that." But the Kings have their own challenges. They it's the fact that Barry Trotz, after an outstanding coaching career that you're well aware of, and then mostly with Nashville, wins the cup in Washington. He goes home, so to speak, the Western boy. He goes home this time to Nashville, and it just doesn't work. And for whatever reason, it just didn't work. It actually just kind of went the other way, right? It was a surprise. Good for him for understanding that, kind of walking away, being an advisor. They're doing a reset. You know this from living in the Pacific Division, that the bottom half of the West is open, and Nashville weren't that far away.
Yeah.
And I used to always cringe at that, just get into the playoffs and anything can happen, because historically that's not true. Except we're closer and closer to that than we used to be because of the way the league is compressed. That if you do get in, look at the team right now that's 3 wins away from the cup in the West, and obviously Vegas, 95 points. They lost more than they won. Well, yes, but under the current system, that's a whole different thing. But I do now believe if you get in more than ever before, there's always going to be a behemoth or two, but we watch Colorado collapse. I do think teams know that now. And I think what they're doing is doing a rejig. They're bringing in established guys. But even on that one, Jason, Chris McFarland had a checkered past with Colorado. A lot of Avs fans are happy he's gone because he didn't leave much in the cupboard. But they did get the 2022 Stanley Cup out of it. So again, how much will you sacrifice to get one Stanley Cup? Right now, both teams in the playoffs are willing to do that. It's better to have one banner than to have a whole bunch of banners saying woulda, coulda, shoulda.
Yeah, well, it just kind of shows you, how difficult it is to win, and you need a lot of things to go well. You need health for sure at key times. We've seen that for every Stanley Cup winner the last few years. Like, does Florida win if Kachuk's hurt in 23 or not hurt? Maybe, right? Does Edmonton win if their guys aren't hurt? Maybe. But we'll never know. All I know is if you're healthy, you've got a better chance, especially when you have a deep team. The draft, we are exactly 3 weeks away from tonight. The NHL draft, Toronto wins it. They take, I'm assuming they're going to take Gavin McKenna, number 1. Where do you come out, Mick? There's been lots of talk, and I know you're fairly tapped in. Are you a believer that we're going to see a lot of actual trades this summer, or are you in the I need to see it to believe it before I think it's actually going to happen?
Yeah, I asked my draft director, Shane Malloy, joins me every Wednesday on the program, and I said, Shane, I've heard this before. There's going to be movement up and down. We saw it with Brian Burke all those years ago with the Canucks when he did get the Sedins. He moved the earth to do that. So it's possible, but it's a lot of moving and shaking behind the scenes. And with the decentralized draft, are they burning up the phones? I'm with you, Jason. I'll believe it when I see it. I think I drew the assignment to go to across the border to Buffalo to cover it. So I'll be on the floor. And I'm curious to see if that happens, because this time it might. Like if you're Anaheim, and everyone make a big deal about the team in the city that I live in. And for the record, I've never been a Leafs fan just because I live in Toronto. Please, folks, please don't paint me that way. Yeah, they won the draft. I'm more curious about San Jose. Sorry, San Jose second, because they're a good developing team, as you guys know, and now they're going to get another impact player to throw in there. And I'm curious to see what they do. There's a lot of scuttlebutt you probably talked about. Maybe they'll move it, but yet you get a defenseman. There's a defenseman high in this draft, or at least they're supposed to be, in a pretty deep draft that may have 8 impact players, not superstars. There's no Connor McDavids, I'm told, in this draft, but there's some very, very good players. I've been taught over the 21 years I've been at NHL Network Radio, always go for D unless there's a McDavid sitting there, or go for D. So I would do that. And so I'm always open to deals. What have you got for me? Maybe I move down a couple because the guy I want is there. I think this may be the year we see some shaking and baking. But again, as you said in your question, I'll believe it when I see it.
We've got a lot of names. We know Dylan Larkin is now available. He's asked for a trade. I can understand it. A decade without the playoffs. So he's on the block. I don't see Detroit, just taking young players in a draft. I think they're going to want a legit NHL player. And I think this is a guy, 5 straight years of 30 goals, 5 straight years of 69 to 79 points. You know exactly what you're getting. I know everybody's looking at Minnesota, but I'm like, I don't know if they have the package to offer back because they gave up so many of their prospects to get Hughes. But I look at Utah and I look at the Anaheim Ducks, and I'm thinking those two teams, they got a lot of guys if you want to make it. Where do you think Larkin ends up? And, is Robert Thomas, Darnell Nurse, are we going to see some other guys move this summer? Could this be a fun summer of NHL trades?
I think so, because the free agency class isn't stellar, as you've probably gone over. It's not jaw-droppingly good. It's not Austin Matthews, Connor McDavid. We'll get to that, maybe. Here's the thing about Larkin. I know he's a good player. He's going to be 30 in July. He's still got 5 or 6 years, but there will be diminishing returns. It's just the way it works, unless you're Sidney Crosby. Everyone else or maybe Connor McDavid. It always goes that way. He is a consistent 30, 35 goal scorer. But this guy's not a point per game guy. He's in the neighborhood. I want him on my team. But I've had people tell me today he's a superstar 1C. No, he isn't. He's a good 1C, but on a really good team, he'd be a perfect 2C. And everyone's looking for that. Montreal's looking for that. Anaheim's looking for that. They're all looking for that. Minnesota's looking for that. So he fits the bill. But as you said, Jason, okay, but what does Detroit want? Now, first of all, Larkin can steer this direction. I get that. But if you're Detroit, you don't have to move him. I think you want to. If he doesn't want to be there, why do you want him in the same house? But what are you going to get? So is Detroit making the playoffs the next few years? Well, they could. They've been knocking on the door in the East for a while. They always come up short. And now that Buffalo's ended that egregious 14-year missing streak, Detroit's got the mountain now. 10 years for a team that used to make the playoffs for like 25 straight years. But Detroit's not on the cusp of a Stanley Cup. So they may want a roster player, but then are you just swapping chairs? If I'm Detroit, I'm kind of doubling down on the rebuild after the rebuild. So I'm almost like Buffalo Sabres in a sense, because this lineup to me is not good enough to go anywhere, even if they get in the playoffs. So how long are you staying with Gibson? They do have was it Augustine in their system, the young goalie on the call system? They, I think, is their blue chipper. He's their Fowler of the future that Montreal has. So they may not need a goalie. So I would want 2 high draft picks. I want a good prospect. And if I'm getting a roster player, Jason, this was always curious. If I'm a contender picking up Larkin, how much do I want to upset the inner, not necessarily chemistry, but just the roster? If it's an upgrade, I'll do it. But if I'm just swapping out pieces, I don't know why it would behoove me to do that. I'm very curious to see how this goes, because the player also has a say. And I think if I'm in the situation of both those teams, I want the divorce as soon as possible. But they're not just going to give them away. And you probably heard what we hear when we open up the phones. Detroit fans are not happy. Steve Yzerman's a god in that city, but even gods get a little tiring after a while if it rains on you all the time. So they're not very happy at the moment.
Yeah, and rightfully so. One last one for you, Mick. Here in Edmonton, there's lots of talk about Darnell Nurse being moved, and I could see it. I'd be hesitant to just give him away. Guy plays a lot of minutes, and he in his last 9 years, he's missed 18 games total, and 11 of them came in 1 year. Availability is one of your best abilities. And I look at a guy in Toronto, in Morgan Riley. Do you think Morgan Riley is a for sure to get moved this summer? And if they move him, what are they looking for in return?
It's a great one. Both those guys make me think of Seth Jones. Seth Jones is a good defenseman, but he's not a Hall of Famer. But in the right situation, he became valuable with Florida, became a Stanley Cup winner. And I think these two guys at this point in their career could be the same. I've watched a lot of Morgan Riley here, and I watched him sort of step back, but as the team stepped back this year, a huge step back, and they're always looking for scapegoats, and so he's the latest one. I think he needs to change of pace too. He's not the linchpin defenseman they thought he'd be in Toronto. He's not that premier puck moving defenseman. We can't all be Quinn Hughes and Kel McCarr or Zach Werenski, can we? I think Darnell Nurse is similar to me. I'm not saying they have the same playing style, but the fact you brought them up, if you hadn't, I would have. I think they both need a change. I think Nurse in the right situation is effective, but he's not. The more he plays, sometimes I worry because that means you're leaning on him and he's not that guy. And maybe we swap them then. We can swap our problems. Yeah, I think they'd like to move Riley. But again, he's good enough that you're just not going to give him away for 2 7th-round draft picks. Outside of that, I don't know what he'll fetch on the market. But in this case with Toronto, it may be a whole bunch of we're clearing up some cap space. They're going to add McKenna. I'd be shocked if they didn't. Apparently, Austin Matthews wants to stay. If he can get healthy again, I still think he can be a 50-goal scorer. He's not going to score 69 again, I don't think, but he's still got that dangerous release. The thing is, though, are Edmonton a playoff team next year? I think yes. Are they a cup contender? Sorry, I don't think so. Are Toronto a playoff team? I don't think so. So how does that dictate how you make personnel moves? Because it better be part of the equation. And I would imagine if I know this, they know this.
Mick, great stuff, man. Happy to have you on the show. Keep ripping it up there on Sirius XM. Have a great weekend and enjoy being irrational and everything but hockey.
Absolutely. Thank you, Jason. Talk again.
There you go. That's Mick Kern joining us from Sirius XM. Jason Gregor, Wanye Gretz. Quick break. We'll return. We got a lot of texts coming in. I love it on a positive Friday. It's a Gregor Show presented by PlayAlberta.ca.
With Play Alberta, backing the home team goes beyond the bets. That's because your picks have provincial impact. Play Alberta is the only app in the province that puts all revenue directly back into supporting programs and services that Albertans rely on every day. By investing in the General Revenue Fund, every play, bet, and buy made on Play Alberta helps make a difference across the province. Visit playalberta.ca/Gregor to learn more. That's playalberta.ca/Gregor. Must be 18 plus to play. If you gamble, use your game sense.
Hey, sports fans, we've got a clear choice for you. At Crystal Glass, we provide customers with the perfect glass for any job. From home to auto and even commercial, installation or repairs, we're your team. Call 310-GLASS or visit crystalglass.ca. Crystal Glass.
Silent Rides is one of Alberta's premier specialty charter companies. With our luxury motor coaches, we provide our customers with the safest and most reliable ground transportation services. Our seatbelt equipped top-of-the-line motor coaches have become the preferred carrier for many local sports teams, tours, corporate outings, and other various travel needs across Western Canada. For more information and to request a quote, contact sales at 877-748-0991 or visit silentrides.ca.
Need a new ride for road trips, errands, or just life on the go? Go Auto offers a massive selection with over 15,000 new and used vehicles to choose from. With over 70 locations across Western Canada, finding your next ride has never been easier. Whether it's a roomy SUV for the family, a sleek car for the open road, or a rugged truck for your weekend adventures, you'll find it here at a price you'll love. Explore thousands of vehicles today at goauto.ca.
Well, get ready for a silly hockey fans. Your partner in power just skated onto the ice.
EWEL.ca, the new e-commerce website for electrical wholesalers Edmonton, is ready for the power play 24/7, 365.
UL skates to where the puck will be in 5 years. Now that's forward thinking.
Killer selection, slamming products from the best brands, and legendary service.
Don't sit on the bench. Get your account today at EWEL.ca and win that project.
Plug into your partner in power. Get an EWEL.ca account today.
Scott McGilvery here, HGTV host and renovation expert. The one upgrade I know homeowners will love: better, fresher Culligan water straight from the tap. Culligan's Aquasential reverse osmosis filtration system takes your water to the next level. With up to 7 stages of filtration and 14 filter options, they're certified to reduce over 90 contaminants. Your tap water is about to get a major upgrade: safer water that tastes great. Get started with a free in-home water test at Culligan.com. Culligan, water you love.
Noodle, 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 noodle. Noodle, 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 noodle. Noodle, 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 noodle.
Troll down to Oodle Noodle tonight because dine-in is open.
Hi, Mike here from Northgate Chevrolet Buick GMC. This deal's only good till 6 o'clock tonight. We need your credit card to hold the color. Hold the color. Summer package. Winter package. And the ever-famous re-PDI fee. I gotta pay you to rebuild the car? Does this sound familiar? At Northgate, we do things differently. We offer 0% financing, a great selection of new, pre-owned vehicles. So if you'd like to do business a different way, stop in and see us today. 13215 97th Street, or visit us online at northgategm.com.
You're in Northgate country.
The Lawnmower Hospital.
Spring is here, and your lawn knows it. Get the professional grade cut your home deserves with Toro. The Lawnmower Hospital has the right Toro for the job, from the residential Toro Super Recycler to the high-performance zero-turn tractor for those larger properties. Shop now for exclusive spring discounts or 0% financing for 36 months on select units. Beat the rush and get your Toro in for service today. Visit lawnmowerhosp.com.
The Lawnmower Hospital.
Rev up for a ride that truly matters. Join the Princess Auto Ride for Dad Edmonton, where hundreds of motorcycles fire up and roll out together in one unforgettable moment. Enjoy a scenic route, great food, amazing prizes, fundraising awards, and a whole community riding shoulder to shoulder. Collect pledges to support prostate cancer research and awareness in the fight against prostate cancer. Ride strong, ride proud to make a difference on Saturday, June 13th, starting at Blackjack's Roadhouse in Nisku. Register now at ridefordad.ca.
Portions of this hour brought to you by Papa John's. Looking for a tasty lunch? Papa John's has you covered. Get a small 2-topping pizza for only $9.99 with code S999 at papajohns.ca. Better ingredients, better pizza, Papa John's.
This is Sports 1440, where Edmonton talks sports.
On YouTube, Facebook, and X.
Here's Jason Gregor.
Brought to you by PlayAlberta.ca.
Well, the Friday rolls through. Gregor, Wanye Gretz, Connor Halley, Sports 1440, sports1440.ca, YouTube, Facebook, X, and Instagram. We got a lot of texts coming in on our text line, 833-401-1440, 833-401-1440. Hey, guys, Mick doesn't think Edmonton's a contender. Well, if they regain their form, they definitely would be, regardless of their goalie situation. Ranger Nick. Oh, I would tend to agree with you, Nick, because all you got to do is everybody thought the Pacific Division was terrible. Well, look at Vegas. Who did they beat 2 teams from the Central? Oh, yeah, that's right. And one of them they swept. And Anaheim's won games against Vegas. Colorado couldn't. So I never get that caught up. I thought Edmonton and Vegas were both legit contenders. Now, they both weren't playing to their potential. And then Edmonton, the injuries they had in the playoffs obviously was the main reason why they lost. But to me, you go into next season, and because you have McDavid and you have Draisaitl and you have Bouchard, and if those 3 are healthy in the playoffs, then I think that makes Edmonton a contender. Well, you need other things to win, but that makes them a legit contender. Anaheim had a really good year this year. I'm not ready to just anoint them and say, oh, they had one good year, so that automatically means next year they'll go to the second or win the second round, or maybe they'll go to the third round. There's lots of teams that were young and up and coming who won a series and then had a real hard time winning 2 series or 3 series. It's difficult, right? It just is. Like, you look at Edmonton. Edmonton didn't win a third-round series until McDavid's 9th season in the NHL. It's hard, right? So I like a lot about Anaheim, but they also now have to beat Vegas and or Edmonton, probably both of them, to get to the third round. That's hard. It just is. Hey, Gregor, if you trade Nurse, are you looking for some grit in return? Nurse does provide a lot of that for the Oilers from Lindsay. Oh, without question, man. I'm not sure the Oilers are gritty enough with him. I think at times I would like Darnell Nurse to be more of a jerk on the ice. I'm trying to think the last time like he just snapped and used his size and aggressiveness. Like he's a really good fighter. He can fight lots of guys. There's not a lot of guys that want to fight. So go stand in front of the bench, challenge some guys. Like I don't need him to fight Olivier, but you can get in the grill of lots of other guys. And yes, if you lose Nurse, and here's the other thing. So I looked it up. Darnell Nurse has had one injury really in his career, a significant one, and that was in 2017, and he played 44 games. Since then, he's played 9 NHL seasons. He has missed a total of 18 games. 6 years, he missed no games. 1 year, he missed 11. 1 year, he missed 1. Another year, he missed 6. That's it. Now, just the last 4 years since he became a regular NHL defenseman, Jake Walman has missed 19, 19, 17, 29. So 9 years, Nurse misses 18 games. Walman's first year, he missed more. Then the next year, he missed more. Again, 19, 19, now 17, now 29. And so when people talk about trading Darnell Nurse, again, I am fine with trading Darnell Nurse, but you have to understand that the odds of Jake Walman replacing him on a nightly basis are low based on his first few years in the NHL. Now, maybe Jake Walman becomes Brent Burns. Because if you go look at Brent Burns, who now can't miss a game, it seems like even COVID couldn't take out Brent Burns. He didn't miss any games in COVID. And that's not something you can control, right? Like you can, you're around different people. Sometimes you're super healthy. He never got it. Good for him. But the guy's never been hurt now in like 12 years. It's wild. Played over 1,000 consecutive games. He's like 56 games shy of it. It's stunning. So, but if you go look at his first few years in the league, he was injured a lot. So maybe something changes for Walman. Odds would say no, but that's something you have to consider when you move Darnell Nurse. It's not just, I moved Darnell Nurse and I get rid of all the plays he does that you don't like. But there's all the plays he does well that you also lose, and the fact that he comes in the lineup virtually every night. So now I assume if I'm trading Darnell Nurse, I'm getting a defenseman back. Or if I'm not getting a defenseman in that trade, I have another trade or another signing or something already planned. Because if you trade Darnell Nurse and get a winger, and you don't have Connor Murphy and you don't have Darnell Nurse, what are you going to have? Jake Walman and Ty Emerson as your second pair? Right? Not so that's great. Hey, Gregor, I think the Oilers try sign and trade with San Jose. Ferraro and Walman could eat up Nurse's minutes from Josh. Well, Ferraro can, but Ferraro can't play. Ferraro doesn't have the offensive side of Darnell Nurse. He doesn't have the size of Darnell Nurse. And I got to look up Mario Ferraro. I'm just going to do it quickly and look up, how healthy is this guy? I know that, he's a highly competitive guy. He's more of a defensive-minded defenseman. Fairly healthy. He missed 10 games, 4 games, and this year he played every game. So that's good. But prior to that, he had missed 19 games. Then he played the whole season in the shortened 56. So really is 6 years in the NHL since he became a regular. He missed 19, 10, 4-4, and 0. So not bad. And I like Ferraro, but he's not an overly offensive defenseman. Like he's 5'11", 200 pounds. Nurse is 6'4", 220, right? So you're giving up some size, some length. He doesn't skate as well as Nurse. So you could take Mario Ferraro. And I'll say what the one thing that Ferraro will bring, that guy is a ball of energy. Like in the room, he is upbeat. My nephew played with them. And he is one of the more upbeat humans you'll ever meet. Always positive, always going. And guys like that, that's infectious. You need, there is value to that on your team. you have a men's league team. And if you've got Bobby in the room and Bobby's a funny storyteller, it makes people like, hey, I want to come to the room, man. Bobby's going to say something dumb or funny or whatever. Like, it matters. It does. And Ferraro is that guy. Like, he's always positive. He's a big ball of energy. He's more vocal and on a team that's not overly vocal. So that can be a benefit for sure. But it's still a downgrade, in my opinion, from Ferraro to Nurse. So what else are you getting in the trade? Okay. That's something to consider. But and I get that you get other minutes and I understand that you lower the AAV and one guy's AAV will look better than $9.25 million. I understand it. But sometimes you got to get past the $9.25 million. Like, remember people thought Seth Jones was done in Chicago? Not that good. Look at Seth Jones. He's brutal. How good does he look in Florida? So I know that Nurse can be infuriating at times, but I'd be a little hesitant to want to just get rid of him.
I think Darnell Nurse is one of the consistent Oilers who answers the bell every game. Like, I cannot recall a time where Nurse walks away from something on the ice. He always defends his teammates. He's highly thought of in the room. He will be hard. If he gets traded, he will be missed in that locker room.
Oh, yeah. No question. 833-401-1440, 833-401-1440. Man, those first 2 hours of the show just flew right by. Holy cow. We're getting to Cam Tate. We got some stats of the day. Craig Button, Spec, LT. We got a busy final 2 hours. But first, we'll get to the con man and a sports 1440 update brought to you by Fountain Tire. Stop in at Fountain Tire because, of course, hey, they can get you tires, wheels, all that alignments, but they also can show you what's wrong with your vehicle with their digital vehicle report. They'll tell you what your car needs, fountaintire.com.
This is the Sports 1440 update.
Montreal Canadiens captain Nick Suzuki is the winner of the 2025-26 Selke Trophy as the forward who best excels in the defensive aspects of the game. Meanwhile, his teammate Cole Caulfield winning the Lady Byng. Sad news is longtime NHL general manager Cliff Fletcher passed away at the age of 90 earlier today. A Hockey Hall of Famer, Fletcher won a Stanley Cup for the Flames in 1989. In the association, Game 2 of the final, Spurs-Knicks from San Antonio, tip-off 6:30. New York leading that series 1-0. Major League Baseball, Jays and Orioles from Toronto. That one gets going just after 5 o'clock. We'll join it in progress following the Jason Gregor Show on our AMB. Just one game going on right now. Cubbies at home trail the Giants 16-3 heading into the ninth. In the CFL tonight, you've got Winnipeg and Calgary. That one starting at 7 o'clock tomorrow. The Elks kick off their campaign in Ottawa, taking on the Redblacks. Kickoff set for 5 o'clock. One more tune-up for Canada as they'll take on Ireland in a friendly from Montreal before the World Cup gets going. That starts at 5. And the Riverhawks stand on the island for the weekend. They'll kick off a series with Nanaimo at 7:35. Coming up in hour 3 of the Jason Gregor Show, we'll ask 5 questions, hear Cam Tate's 2-minute warning, and be joined by Craig Button from the NHL on TSN. I'm Connor Halley. This has been a Sports 1440 update.
Sports 1440, a Stingray radio station. CKJR broadcasts from West Edmonton Mall and Wetaskiwin.
Download the free Stingray music app and listen wherever you go.
Our new McCafe crafted sodas just drinks or something more. Like Sprite Berry Bliss, Creamy Strawberry Coke, and Orange Dream. All swirled with fizzy flavor and topped with silky cold foam. Only at McDonald's. At participating McDonald's restaurants in Canada.
Hey there, I'm in the Fountain Tire sidecar, making a list of the things I'm doing this spring. 1. Saving you money, with up to 20% off select tires until June 13th. 2. Water skiing, tricky in a sidecar, but fun. And 3. Saving you more money, with mail-in rebates of up to $100 off a set of 4 Select tires and $50 off a $150 service with the purchase of 4 Select tires. Oh, that's 4 things. Oh well. Restrictions apply. Book online at fountaintire.com. Fountain Tire. We're on this road together, Canada.
Whether you're a craft beer connoisseur or more of a wine aficionado, there's always something new to discover at Sherbrooke Liquor, a unique family-owned independent liquor store. The selection, incredible. The non-alcohol section is also very impressive. Sherbrooke Liquor, expert, knowledgeable staff with a passion for unique finds. More than just a liquor store, we're a community. Alberta's best, the one and only Sherbrooke Liquor. Wine, spirits, and oodles of beer. Visit SherbrookeLiquor.com.
Don't miss a moment of Blue Jays baseball this season. Join play-by-play announcer Ben Showman for the games live on Sports 1440. The Toronto Blue Jays are on Edmonton's home for all things sports. Sports 1440.
60 years ago, we started selling trucks as Western GMC Buick. Today, we are Wolf GMC Buick. We're still located on the corner of 184th Street and Stony Plain Road with the same ownership for over 2 decades. Our customers have trusted our family-owned, community-driven business. And for that, we are thankful. If you're looking for a truck or SUV, pop in and one of our seasoned professionals will get you a great deal, hassle-free. Come trust our team at Wolf GMC Buick. Wolf GMC Buick. We're making it easy.
Listen up, friends. Operation Pizza is a go at Papa John's. They're introducing new personal pizzas just in time to celebrate the premiere of Toy Story 5. These adventure-sized pies come in new exciting flavors like Sheriff's Roundup, Space Rangeroni, and Reach for the Pie. Or take your personal pizza to infinity and beyond by creating your own flavor just for you. Order 2 or more with Papa pairings and get yours for only $9.99 each. New personal pizzas are ready for takeoff. See Disney and Pixar's Toy Story 5 in theaters June 19th.
Okay, new strategy. I'll just live in the freezer till October. It's spacious in here. It's spacious.
There's a better way to survive the coming AC season. Pro Solutions is your one-call-solves-it-all expert for AC repairs, tune-ups, and new installations. We offer convenient financing options and fast appointments so you can enjoy your entire home, not just the freezer.
Now I can leave the frozen peas where they belong.
Book now at prosolutionsinc.ca.
Lux Windows was founded in 1969 with 5 people and a dream. 55 years later, our team of experts cares a whole lot about building and installing the best possible windows and doors. Because Lux is not just an Alberta-made product. We're one big Alberta-made family. Everything we are is windows and doors. A company born and bred and made in Alberta.
For over 60 years, the folks at Diablo Boots have been selling the best Canadian-made boots. Handcrafted in Winnipeg, Canada West makes the best quality cowboy, biker, and work boots for Diablo Boots with replaceable soles and heels. Why buy cheaper quality like Ariat, Justin, and Red Wing made in China when Canadian-made is better? Support Canada's workers and Diablo Boots for the best boots. So save on boots by Save On Foods. That's Diablo Boots, 3340 Gateway Boulevard on the east side of Save On Foods. Canada West and Diablo Boots, the 2 best names in the boots business.
Course of this hour brought to you by Leading Edge Physio. From weekend warriors to professional athletes, kids playing soccer to grandparents in the garden, rotator cuff tears and tendinitis to post-surgical knees and hips, we fix your body. Life shouldn't hurt. LeadingEdgePhysio.com.
The Jason Gregor Show. The best of Edmonton sports talk and beyond. This is Sports 1440.
Presented by PlayAlberta.ca, Alberta's only regulated online gambling website.
Positive Friday continues on. Hopefully it's a positive Friday for you. Jason Gregor, Connor Halley, Wanye Gretz, Declan Kruger. The Gregor Show is always brought to you by PlayAlberta.ca. And we got a Jays parlay. We always, you know what, we like to do like a fun parlay with some big odds. We got the Jays to win by 2 runs tonight at home against Baltimore, and a Vladdy Guerrero ending the home run drought. Now, the reason we did it tonight is if you watched yesterday, Vladdy actually hit one off the wall. Like, he's getting close. So, you know, obviously it's a little bit of a long shot. And then also we have Nathan Lucas, 2 total bases, because that guy's on fire right now at the plate for the Jays. So if you like some parlay, maybe, you know, put down 5 bones and see what happens. Check it out at PlayAlberta.ca. It's got some odds boosts pretty high, so you might want to check that one out. PlayAlberta.ca. We're going to get to Cam Tate's 2-minute warning in a second. We got some stats of the day for you. I know a lot of you are wondering, hey guys, have you seen an update on McNabb? I haven't seen anything stating for sure if he is out. Like if he comes back and plays in the series, I wouldn't be shocked. But I would guess if he comes back and plays, he'll be playing with a bubble, because you saw that puck right off of Ehlers' shot. Like that was square in the face. And it, like, I don't know if his visor might have got some of it, but I honestly thought the puck hit his face and then the visor moved because the puck like ricocheted off of his nose / front of his mouth up into his visor. But that was ugly, man. That was ugly last night for him. So, but he would not be the first NHL player lose, 8 teeth, come back and play in 2 days. He would not be the first guy. Hey, Ryan Smith, Oiler fans, remember that one when Pronger put it right in the grill? It wasn't that wasn't fun, but it happens.
Was it Eric Robinson behind him? Because they show the angle where he's behind McNabb, screams and ducks.
No, he didn't. I didn't see him duck, but I saw him like try to flinch for sure.
Yeah,
but
and then McNabb just eats it.
Yeah, well, no, McNabb, he was behind McNabb.
He's behind him.
Yeah. So
even he flinches.
Oh God, yeah. It was not. So he puts his hands up, thinking, "Oh my God, this is coming to my face." And McNabb, he didn't even lift his hands. Like that's a guy who's a shot blocker, and he's just like, "Oh, the puck's coming. I'm probably going to eat it." He was hoping, like it just kept rising. I think he thought it was going to hit him in the chest, honestly. And it's moving so quickly. It was just like a high heater. It's a riser, but oh God, you watch that video. It is, if anybody's ever taken a puck to the face or anything in the face, baseball, like I'm still stunned in baseball, man. More guys don't take a few off the chicklets.
Blocking shots, it has to be one of the toughest things in pro sports.
No. And I'm going to say it. I think it's one of the dumbest things. Like you've got a guy that you pay millions of dollars with. He's got pads and he's got a mask and he has a chest protector and gloves and everything. And you're like, that's what he is. Like, if you get in the way of some of the shots, okay, fine. Like the Mitch Marner shot block. All right. But by the way, he jumped to get out of the way. So let's not herald him as a, just a sacrificer of everything. But, like I remember it used to be you'd have one or two guys and sometimes they'd slide on the ice because you're going to try to take it in the shin pads, right? And now every now and then Bucky was the one. He'd go down on his knees face first and you're just like, oh my God, this guy's a lunatic. Right?
I was just going to say, I can remember Bucky in that old bucket of his.
Oh God.
Face
the wind
first.
Well. Yeah.
Blocking shots.
Oh geez. Yeah. So he was fearless. No question about it. Right. But do I need every player in the league blocking shots? No, I don't. Personally, I don't know how you could put it back in the box now, right? Like, how can you suddenly say, okay, you know what? You can't block shots. Like, I don't see how you go back to it. But like I see it sometimes trickling down to younger ages. Now, obviously, it's all relative because the kids don't shoot it as hard. I understand that. But guess what? You don't have the same pain threshold at 14 as you do at 24. And you're not getting paid. It's not your job. You're just a kid. But I see some coach, you got to get in the lane. And I'm like, well, I don't know if I need to freak out at that, man. Because most of those coaches, like, depending on how old they were, right? Like, I guess if you played in the early 2000s, but it just seems to be that the focus on shot blocking has, to me, gone a little bit too far. Just for me. I don't think it's great for the game.
Another Oiler I remember who was a great shot blocker was Jarrett Stoll. He was I remember in the cup run, I'm like, man, this guy's made of steel. Like, you either have that in you or you don't, but those guys are fearless.
Yeah. So we'll see where it goes. 833-401-1440, 833-401-1440. Let's get to Cam Tate. The 2-minute warning brought to you by Legacy Heating and Cooling, home of the no payments, no interest for 1 year on your furnace or AC unit. Bundle them together, save even more. LegacyHeating.ca. Cam Tate, 45 years being a journalist in town. And it's a great success story because when Cam was born with cerebral palsy, didn't breathe for many minutes. And some of the doctors told his parents, maybe, you know what, could choose other options. They said pound sand. And Cam has become a great writer. He's always wanted to be in radio. And now through the wonders of technology, Cam's words come to life in the 2-minute warning. On Fridays, I read Tater's 2-minute warning. So here is Cam's words, my voice. Cue the music, Con Man. Getting out of bed this morning, normal enough. Foot hits the floor, but your foot, it turns just slightly. And there's a little pain. Not a big one, not a dramatic one, just a little one. And you think maybe, just maybe that's going to throw your whole day off. You start watching, waiting for the next thing to go wrong. But then nothing. First few seconds, no hitch. Which brings me to something very important. Would that be a tick hitch? A tick hitch? That's a tick hitch. You don't have a tick hitch, and suddenly your day, it just got better. No tick hitch, folks. The Edmonton Elks haven't won an opening game since the last time the Oilers won a cup, and everyone in the city still had the original eyebrows. Oh. I'll tell you why that made me laugh. It's been a while. It's been a while. But here's the thing about days that start with the tick hitch. Things feel possible. The Calgary Stampeders, they've opened the season with the win. They won the Grey Cup. Went wire to wire. The Kansas City Chiefs opened the season with the win, won the Super Bowl. Patrick Mahomes did Patrick Mahomes things. The Boston Bruins opened the season with the win. Set the all-time NHL points record that year. 65 wins. 60 freaking 5. The Toronto Blue Jays open a season with a win. It happens. It actually happens that you can win your first game of the season. You're absolutely right, Gregor. Tomorrow night, Edmonton Elks, Ottawa Redblacks, season opener. This is the biggest game in the history of the Elks era. I said what I said. Sorry, Gregor. No hitch tick tomorrow, or should that be hitch tick? 2-minute warning, Cam Tate. How many times did he make me say tick hitch or hitch tick in that 2-minute warning, Cons? It's a lot. The only reason I laughed then City had their original eyebrows, because at our golf game today, we're discussing it. And the guys in them, because we went out and there was this lady who looked very attractive, except she had like her eyebrows and they're all painted on. And I'm just like, I don't really understand why women think this looks great. Because I'm like, I said, maybe I'm in the minority here. Like, I don't think it looks very good. Right? Because now it's like painted on, it looks flat. And it's just like, and sometimes it's like bigger than, grandpa's caterpillar eyebrows. Like, I don't know, man. I don't know why this trend has caught on that people think it's good. Like, do a lot of guys really like it? And I know someone says, wow, the women are dressing for themselves. Okay, great. But why do you like it? That would be my question. What is it about it that you want an eyebrow that's suddenly like going on like a centimeter and a half width? And usually it's like pitch black. And we can all tell, like, I don't know. Where do you come out on it, Wanye?
I would never presume to tell a lady what to do, but it is a big business, the eyebrows, and they seem to be changing over time.
But do you like the look of it?
I don't know anything. I wouldn't say on live radio.
Chicken.
Well,
give your opinion. Collins, where do you come in on the new trend of big painted on eyebrows?
I guess I haven't noticed it quite as much. I will side with Wanye of do what you want to do, be happy. But I think they're better than, do you remember, was it like early 2010s when they were super thin, almost non-existent?
Pencil thin.
So in a span of 15 years, we've gone from like the thin line to suddenly now it's like, we're creeping up on, like, is it going to get to an inch? Like, where does it stop? That's my question. And somebody out there whose wife, or I don't know, one of you has to be an esthetician who's doing this sort of thing. Like, I'm just curious, like, who started the new trend?
It's like pants getting wide leg and skinny jeans, or neckties getting wide. They got to change it up. So everybody has to go back to the esthetician and say, give me the newest and the greatest. What about tattoo eyebrows?
So they're just tattooed on, so then you never have to do it?
People with light eyebrows get it tattooed in to save them makeup, I assume.
But are they even noticeable? Like, do they look different than the normal eyebrow?
Depends on the tattooist. Some look weird.
Okay.
Closer you get. They look when you see someone with the tattooed eyebrows, like from afar you won't notice, but you get close and
what, it's just ink?
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
So there's no hair under the ink?
Well, there might be like blonde eyebrows, but they want to look darker. They don't always have to put the makeup on. Got to remember, I have a very basic knowledge of how women think and act. I'm doing my best here. I don't know what they're doing or why most of the time.
Yeah.
I'm just happy we don't really do that sort of thing.
We don't
just
play
like you being Levy
guys,
over here.
We
and
got a lot. We got
whatever.
We got big ones, but you know what? Like guys have some things that obviously we can improve on. There's no question about that. But there are benefits at times where you just don't. Most guys are kind of like, hey, you know what? I want to look good. That's great, but like I'm trying to think like what's a guy trend where like you don't have the big lips, you don't have the big eyebrows, like like are guys getting a lot of pec implants? I don't know. Like are butt implants big
Tattoos,
in the guy
maybe?
world? Yeah, tats, but yes, like sleeve tats. But a lot of people like sleeve tats, right?
But that's like guys beautifying themselves, getting tats.
Or toughen them up. Depends. That's what they think. So, hey guys, my wife drew her eyebrows on. She asked what I thought. I said they're too high. She looked surprised. Okay, Rig. Okay, we get it. Hey, Gregor, what about manscaping? Well, I guess if you're manscaping in certain areas, no one's seen it unless you're in your birthday suit, right?
The least we can do.
Sometimes say that's, you're helping out the cause, depending on it. But I don't know. I found it today. Like I just found it noticeable that just on a few places, and we had the conversation. That's why Cam made me laugh back when people had their own eyebrows. Oh, it's too funny. Too funny. When we come back, gentleman who, hey, I know he has his own eyebrows, has his own lips, has his own pickleball racket. Initialized. Craig Button next on The Gregor Show, presented by PlayAlberta.ca.
Listen up, friends. Operation Pizza is a go at Papa John's. They're introducing new personal pizzas just in time to celebrate the premiere of Toy Story 5. These adventure-sized pies come in new exciting flavors like Sheriff's Roundup, Space Ranger-oni, and Reach for the Pie. Or take your personal pizza to infinity and beyond by creating your own flavor just for you. Order 2 or more with Papa pairings and get yours for only $9.99 each. New personal pizzas are ready for takeoff. See Disney and Pixar's Toy Story 5 in theaters June 19th.
And here comes Action Electrical Service Team sprinting onto the scene. These are your first responders for any electrical emergency.
That's right. With their fleet of service vans and specialized gear, they assess, they service, and maintain electrical lighting and automation systems. They're all about rapid response.
Quick diagnostics and repairs to restore power and safety fast. Hire the Action Electrical team to bring home a win for your project. Visit actionelectrical.net.
You've got a go-to coffee spot, a trusted barber, even a lucky game day jersey. But when it's about looking your absolute best, there's only one name you need. Mr. Dirk. Family run since 1939. We're experts in crafting impeccable tailor-made suits and offering a wide variety of everyday styles. Pair that with personalized one-on-one fittings and the convenience of on-site tailoring. Mr. Dirk elevates your style game. Visit our Edmonton store or explore MrDirk.com. Score big on style with Mr. Dirk.
The job isn't done until the last load is hauled, and having a semi-trailer out of commission is not an option. Whether replacing or adding to your convoy, Edmonton Trailer has a huge inventory of new and used semi-trailers, trusted by the gravel, logging, oil field, fluids, and freight industries. Find a trailer right for you online or at one of their 3 locations. For sales, service, parts, rental, and finance, when you're in it for the long haul, Edmonton Trailer.
Albertans love to debate the best way to enjoy summer sports.
No. Playing on the field is the best, man.
No way. Watching from the sidelines, way more relaxing.
You're both crazy. Checking out the game from the Bro Zone is where it's at.
But there's one thing every sports fan agrees on.
Wilhauk Beef Jerky.
Wherever you catch the action, load up on Alberta's best beef jerky.
Wilhauk Beef Jerky. Because you can't have summer fun with salad. Only available in Leduc.
Wondering what you can afford? Let Go Auto do the math with our free car loan calculator. No pressure, no awkward convos, just quick answers on your budget and payments. Bad credit? No credit? We got you. Text CHECK to 780-777-7777. That's CHECK to 780-all-7. Find out what you qualify for and start shopping with confidence. Go Auto. Drive what you love with payments that make sense.
You don't just need property services, you need problems handled. HireGood provides cleanup,
debris removal, site monitoring, and safety attendance across Edmonton. We reduce issues on your property, keep spaces safe, and take pressure off your team. We resolve real problems for businesses while creating real impact because our team is built on second chances and they show up every day ready to prove it. Visit hiregood.ca or call and mention Jason Gregor for a first-time discount. HireGood. Stable jobs create stable lives.
Since the 1930s, the Dorchester name has been synonymous with chuck wagon racing in Alberta. And now, it's just as well known for golf. Dorchester Ranch Golf Course is open for the season. A challenging 18-hole course nestled in the rolling coulees of central Alberta. Stunning views, reasonably priced, and only 40 minutes from Edmonton on newly paved roads. Play the course built with pioneer spirit and family pride. Dorchester Ranch Golf Course. Book your tee time today at dorchestergolf.ca.
At Wendy's, get a 10-piece nugget small combo for just $8.99. That's right, $8.99 for 100% Canadian chicken, plus fries and a drink. That's just good nuggenomics. Only until June 14th. In restaurant at participating Wendy's locations. Taxes extra.
Portions of this hour brought to you by eWell. Helping you finish your electrical project is their goal. From pot lights to electrical panels, the gear you need is at ewell.ca or in person at one of their Edmonton area locations. ewell.ca, your partners in power.
The Jason Gregor Show, the best of Edmonton sports talk and beyond. This is Sports 1440.
Presented by PlayAlberta.ca, Alberta's only regulated online gambling website.
$4.28 on a positive Friday. 833-401-1440, 833-401-1440 is where you can text us. Hey, Gregor, maybe they all just wish they're like Uncle Leo. That is a classic. Remember when Uncle Leo got the eyebrows painted on? Oh, unbelievable. That is a classic. It's a class. Like, think about like that happened and no one was doing it then. And nowadays, like you do see some people, it's like, oof. It's a tough one, man. But hey, to each their own. Good for you if you do it. I'm just curious as to why. It's a fair question. Fair question. So there you go. We'll get to the Nurse and the Larkin and all the others. There's some interesting names rumored around on the trade board now in the National Hockey League. As we go in the room, brought to you by Action Electrical. Specializing in lots of things, including commercial solar. And commercial building owners who install solar can qualify for up to 30% federal tax credit and accelerated capital cost allowance benefits. Learn more, actionelectrical.net. As Craig Button from TSN, Stanley Cup winner, former GM scout, now ace analyst and scout for TSN, joins us. Craig, my man, how you doing?
I'm really good, Jason. How are you doing?
Oh, I'm fantastic. We're curious. Is your pickleball racket, is it initialized?
No, it isn't.
Oh, okay. I was just curious.
No, it isn't.
I've like CB. Do you have a name for it? No?
No, it's just my pickleball paddle. I don't, I don't get hung up on names. I just use my paddle. I got two paddles that I use. So, two different ones. It depends how I'm feeling.
Okay, I like that. All right. So is it like one? So are they exactly the same, or do they have like different feels for different games or different approaches?
No, they're different. They're different models. No, like I have a small hand, so it's more about the grip. So I need a certain grip. But some days I feel like using my Babolet. Other days I feel like using my other one.
Okay. All right. Let's start first of all at the Stanley Cup final. Hell of a first two games, man. It's been great if you like entertainment. No lead is safe. You score the first two goals of the game for your team by the same player, guarantees you a loss. Is all the things that I know from the first two games in this series. But it's been very entertaining for certain. A lot of us thought that game two, okay, you know what, there'll be less opportunities. That wasn't the case. Now they'll switch to Vegas for tomorrow night. Let's start with Carolina, because for long stretches in the series, they've struggled to generate some stuff. Obviously, they got red hot in the third, and then, their power play showed up and boom, they win, Craig. But what do you feel they need to do to generate more consistent offensive plays?
Yeah, well, I mean, when the game started, right? Like the game started, and in game one, I'm talking about game one, and you're going, whoa, Vegas looks like they're up against it. They really did. And then Vegas found their footing, right? And then, for long stretches of game two, it looked like Carolina couldn't find their footing. And, everything that goes with it, you're trying to learn, you're trying to figure out how to get back in the game. And for 50 minutes, it didn't look like Carolina was ever going to find their way back into the game. So, but they did. And then all of a sudden in the last 8 minutes, you're sitting here with a situation that what seemed to be like impossible for Carolina all of a sudden turned possible.
Yeah, it was an amazing comeback for them. Like Vegas's penalty kill had been awesome, and then suddenly Carolina scores 2 consecutive ones late in and not anything special, right? Point shot, Stoll deflects it, and then a pretty nice play around from Aho to Gostisbehere, and Jarvis buries it on a one-timer, and suddenly their power play has some life, and it makes it entertaining, no doubt. The McNabb injury, I think, played a factor, Craig, and if he's out for the foreseeable future here for Vegas, that's a pretty significant loss for them.
Yeah, well, there's no question that it's a significant loss. I mean, he does so much in the game, like penalty killing, the support he gives to Shea Theodore, and what it does as much as anything, it's not just what you're taking away. You also have to give some of those other defensemen more ice time, more time on ice. And you look at Rasmus Andersson. I mean, he struggled as he had to play more. Jeremy Lauzon, he's a bottom pair defenseman. All of a sudden, Dylan Coughlin has to play more. Who do they put in the lineup now if Braden can't go? They got to put in Caden Korzak. Well, now you're stretching thin.
Yeah.
I mean, Hannafin, Theodore, they're going to have to play a lot of big minutes, but and they can, and they've shown that they're great skaters. I mean, Theodore's been amazing in these playoffs, but you scale everybody up. And now there's a real gap on the blue line for the Vegas Golden Knights because Braden McNabb does so much for that team.
Yeah, significantly. Some sad news today in the National Hockey League. Cliff Fletcher passing away, and lots of positive words coming in for Cliff. I had the chance to talk to Cliff. I wouldn't say by any stretch that we were on like a deep communication basis, but I interviewed him many times, talked to him many times, and just a real class act guy, and obviously highly competitive and very successful in his job for many years with different franchises as the GM job and in other roles.
Well, I mean, he started the Atlanta franchise and then moved it to Calgary. And I think what is most significant about Cliff, he recognized what the Calgary market was. He recognized that there was going to be an intense competition with the Oilers, and he embraced it. And the Flames became a very, very successful team, and they won a Stanley Cup. And then I think what's interesting, in light of what just happened with Chris McFarland going from Colorado to the Nashville Predators, Cliff Fletcher did the same thing back in 1991.
Yeah.
The Leafs said, hey, we want to be better. We're tired of the 1980s being so dismal, leaking into the 90s, and they went right after Cliff. And, there was a lot of surprise in Calgary, maybe, that Cliff was leaving, just as there may be with Chris McFarland. But I think it speaks to, being bold in the case of the Toronto Maple Leafs. And then Cliff, look what he did. He went into Toronto. He made a blockbuster trade right off the bat. But, that team was really competitive for a number of years under Cliff's guidance. And certainly, you look at his record. I mean, he grew up in the Montreal Canadiens franchise, with Sam Pollock. Then he goes to Atlanta, Calgary, Toronto. I mean, he was a Hall of Famer for a reason. And, I'll say this about Cliff, and I knew Cliff really well. And, Cliff was a Hall of Fame hockey person. He was a Hall of Fame person, period. He was just such a quality guy who had time for everybody. And he wanted to help you. He generally wanted to help you. I mean, he might have his hand in your left pocket trying to take whatever loose change was in there. But, he was putting a tip into your right pocket.
That's Craig Button joins us. Craig, Dylan Larkin, 10 years missing the playoffs. I need a change. Not a shock to me. It doesn't happen very often that you stay on one team and miss the playoffs 10 years in a row, right? Because not many teams miss it 10 years in a row. So you look at this trade for Steve Yzerman, and I know that Dylan Larkin will have some say in where he's going, but man, like there are so many teams that are desperate for a second line center. Anaheim, Utah, right? Minnesota, lots of others that they'll have options here in Detroit. And I know a lot of people are pointing at Minnesota right away. I'm just not sure Minnesota has the pieces to get Larkin, considering they gave up so many pieces to get Quinn Hughes.
Yeah, I agree with you. And so you now look at other teams, Utah, San Jose, Anaheim, Montreal. You know, they all have a deeper prospect pool, and they have picks that they can use to go and make a pitch for Dylan Larkin. Listen, Dylan Larkin's he's an elite second line center. He's superb. And do you remember the movie Network? I'm fed up and I'm not going to take it anymore. Yeah. I'm sure that's what Dylan did. He opened up his window and he said, I'm fed up and I'm not going to take it anymore. And you reach a point where last year he was outspoken about the moves management didn't make and helping the team. And obviously that created some waves. But I think now Dylan has made his request. I think he doesn't have faith in the management group. And yeah, that's Steve Yzerman.
Well, there's lots of pressure on them now, even more, right, to try to make a deal that works. And, we're hearing lots about, maybe the Edmonton Oilers and asking Darnell Nurse and looking to make a trade. Spec had that article yesterday. And, hey, any player's tradable for me. And Wanye Gretz can get traded. You can trade anybody. I have no issues with that. I look at Darnell Nurse, and are there some areas of his game that aren't great? 1,000%. But there's lots of areas of the game that are good, Craig. And it's hard to find guys that play 20 minutes a night and guys who miss 18 games over 9 years, right, who skate that well. So I get that Edmonton, maybe they're looking to move things. But if you're moving Darnell Nurse, they can't have a repeat of the Stu Skinner trade, right? Like that trade's been awful. And they can't do the same thing with Darnell Nurse. That'll just push him farther away.
Well, I mean, again, I think you just focus in. It's too easy to start focusing on what a player doesn't do. I mean, it's happening in Toronto with Morgan Riley. It's happened in other places with other players. And all of a sudden you look around and you go, geez, we could really use that guy. I love to tell the story, and we did it. It was in Minnesota. It was in 1990. Bob Clark had become our manager. Bob Haney was the new coach. And Bob Clark really didn't like Larry Murphy. Yeah. And Murph told me in training camp, he says, they're going to trade me. And I go, come on. We had traded for him from Washington. And a pretty big deal. I got Mike Gartner from Washington, and that was a pretty big deal. Anyway, as you carry forth, we traded Larry Murphy. No word of a lie. A month later, I don't even know if it was a month later, we're on a conference call, and we're looking for a defenseman, that can handle the puck, maybe a little bit rugged. We're going through all these names, and oh no, he's not rugged, but he's not good with the puck. Finally, Dennis Patterson, who was our chief scout, says, we traded a pretty good one a month ago. And, when we fixed that? When we traded for Sergei Zubov, 1996, 6 years later. And it was like, what were we doing? And trust me, I tell that story from a personal point of view, but teams do that all the time. Darnell Nurse, to your point, 18 games he's missed in 9 years. Yeah, he's dependable. He's reliable. Bottom line, maybe the Toronto Maple Leafs can get him and have him play net because they don't have the goalies that are available.
Yeah. I know that's true. Like, Morgan Riley's name I've heard out there, and, Darnell Nurse and others, Robert Thomas, lots of guys in St. Louis, Craig. It could be an interesting offseason for sure. The NCAA, I'm sure because you've seen it that they're going to adopt hockey's proposed model where the eligibility clock begins the season following an athlete's 19th birthday or college enrollment, removing high school graduation. So, because hockey, there was, originally people were concerned that, guys in NCAA that have to come earlier. Now they don't have to. What do you make of this? And it sounds like NCAA might do it for all their sports.
Okay. So again, like you have, I think not this past year, but the year before, I think there was 37 18-year-old players in college hockey.
Yeah.
37 out of that's 60 teams, right? I think that was the number. I'm not up to speed on this year's number. But you know what it's also going to do? It's also going to take 19-year-olds and push them into college maybe before they're ready.
Right.
Because there's some kids that aren't ready till they're 20. And now kids think they got to go there. There's so much competition, the transfer portal. I was talking to somebody today and they told me about a player who was not going to leave. He wasn't going to leave his team. And the college team was looking for, they thought they'd get players out of the transfer portal. Well, they didn't have very much success. So now they turned to this kid that was going to come next year. And they said, we want you to come this year. So he's leaving a junior team to go to college. They didn't think he was ready because they were going into the transfer portal. And now they think he's ready. And what I worry about is the kids that aren't ready being pushed to a level where they're going to be exposed. And that's not development. I mean, you think Sam O'Reilly and Jared Woolley were hurt by playing in Kitchener this year? Do you think Jack Pridham got hurt by playing an overage year? And I'm not saying it's apples for apples right across the board, but be careful because there's some players that go that realize college hockey is pretty darn hard, and college hockey poses challenges that may not be helping your development depending on where you're at.
I get the theory behind it, but I do think there's a concern because not everybody is developed at the same timeline. We've seen it at goaltenders, defensemen, forwards, just a position, never mind different players. Some guys reach their physical peak at 18. Some don't reach it till they're 22 or 3. So I'm sure as a scout, you've seen that lots of times. And in some cases, it's difficult to predict. But the one thing I wish NCAA would do, Craig, is the constant free agency every year, I don't think is good for the sport. And I don't think it's great for player development. Like, you're a player, you come out, okay, I'm committing to go to Denver because I know that there's seniors, there's 2 centers, they're graduating, I'm going to get some playing time. Well, guess what? The next year comes and all of a sudden, now the portal opens up and 2 other number 1 centers come in. And now you're like, I'm not even sure I'm going to get to play. Like, I don't think it's a great scenario for the players overall. And everybody talks about, player movement, but it really only helps the top guys. I don't think it helps the majority.
The top guys don't leave. It's the guys that aren't ready that go there, then they bounce around. And then the colleges that are recruiting these players, they're recruiting, you're not good enough. Yeah, leave. We don't want you. I mean, so the bottom line is that everybody's chasing something instead of digging in with the players. I mean, Zach Hyman, I don't know if you've ever talked to Zach Hyman. Talk to Zach Hyman one day and talk to him about this. He went to Michigan. Okay, and I watched Zach. I'd watched Zach for a long time. His first year at Michigan, I don't even know if he could play in practice. His second year, he got a little bit better. He was a little bit functioning. It wasn't until it was halfway through his junior year that Zach Hyman really started to take hold of the college game. In his senior year, we know what he did. I'm going to guess that if it was a different world, maybe Michigan would have said to Zach, maybe you're better off going somewhere else. Maybe Zach would have said, I'm better off going somewhere else. So if we look back at him as an example, did it hurt Zach Hyman to go through some adversity and not be ready and then work through it? I don't think so.
Yeah. Craig Button from TSN joins us. One last one for you, Craig. As you put on your commissioner for the day, would you change anything about what's going on with the Cassie thing, or do you think, hey, that's what the contract states, I have no issue with it?
Well, I think that when we talk about contracts, the party that signs it, in this case, Bruce Cassidy, he's a signatory to the contract. Yeah. He better know what he's signing. There's non-competes everywhere in the world, Jason. And, I don't think anybody wants to not work. And Bruce has said he just wants to work. But he signed a contract that basically is a no-compete. Mm-hmm. And, Bill Daly, I think Bruce is a terrific coach. I like Bruce. And Bruce has been outspoken. And Bill Daly really slapped him the other day when he said, yeah, we have other coaches in the league that aren't victim to this type of clause, which basically he told Bruce Cassidy, you signed it. You made your own bed. Don't start complaining about it if you're not comfortable in it.
Yeah. No, it's fair. And I could see how some coaches or more their agents will just simply change the wording of future contracts and say, if I get relieved of my duties, you will grant me permission to talk to other teams. Pretty simple.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
But you know what else might happen with it? We may not pay you if you want permission either. You'll get permission and we'll cease paying you.
Yeah.
Remember, it's a contract.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, and again, like teams have signed different. There's no standard coaches contract. So, bottom line is, Bruce signed it. I think he should look in the mirror and go, maybe he should talk to his agent and go, why did we sign this?
Fair point.
But I'll tell you this, Kelly McCrimmon was nothing to anybody, and he's not going to help anybody be more competitive. And if it means that, people say, how can Kelly McCrimmon and the Vegas Golden Knights do it? He doesn't care.
Yeah, it's totally true. Craig, always good to catch up with you, man. Have yourself a great weekend. Enjoy the Cup final, the NBA, and much more. We will talk to you next Friday.
Thanks, Jason.
There you go. That's Craig Button from TSN. It's the Gregor Show presented by PlayAlberta.ca. Lotto Max tonight, 15 mil and 15 prizes of $100,000 as well. PlayAlberta.ca. We'll come back with 5 questions on the Gregor Show, Sports 14.
With Play Alberta, backing the home team goes beyond the bets. That's because your picks have provincial impact. Play Alberta is the only app in the province that puts all revenue directly back into supporting programs and services that Albertans rely on every day. By investing in the General Revenue Fund, every play, bet, and buy made on Play Alberta helps make a difference across the province. Visit playalberta.ca/Gregor to learn more. That's playalberta.ca/Gregor. Must be 18 plus to play. If you gamble, use your game sense.
There's still time to book your tournament at the Ranch Golf and Country Club.
As one of Alberta's top tourney courses, the Ranch makes hosting fun and easy for any group or business. No matter how unique or unusual, they'll accommodate your vision for an event no one will soon forget.
Start planning your tournament today at their beautifully landscaped course on the outskirts of West Edmonton. On-site event coordinators are here to help, but hurry, availability is limited and booking fast.
Visit theranchgolf.com.
Legacy Heating and Cooling is the #1 air conditioning install company for slushy lovers. Because while a slushy keeps you cool as an 80s song for a moment, AC from Legacy keeps you cold as ice all season long. A permanent full-body slushy sensation, keeping you cold as ice with no payments and no interest for 1 year. Keeping you cool without the brain freeze. That's how you build a legacy. Legacy Heating and Cooling.
Just in time for the big game. Score big savings at the Brick. Save up to $1,300 off sofas. Save up to 50% on open box TVs. Plus, save up to 40% on select mattresses. And Friday to Monday, score even bigger with limited time specials and amazing door crasher deals in every department, like the Arbor Queen bed, just $199, or a Frigidaire top freezer fridge, just $349. See in-store for details and exclude. The Brick, saving you more.
When thirst strikes and your energy begins to fade, one hero rises above the rest. Introducing the Superpower Smoothie from Booster Juice. A bright sun-charged burst of mangoes, bananas, and blue spirulina. An out-of-this-world smoothie, just in time for the new Supergirl movie. Discover your power and channel your inner superhero. Fly into your local Booster Juice and experience it for yourself today. And see Supergirl. Only in theaters June 26th.
Good to go. With Mortgages to Go, you'll be good to go. MortgagesToGo.ca says yes when the banks say no. That's why Alberta has trusted Mortgages to Go for over 23 years. If you need cash and have equity in your home, you're approved instantly. Guaranteed. Call 1-888-888-5998. That's 1-888-888-5998. With Mortgages to Go, you'll say...
Hi, Mike here from Northgate Chevrolet Buick GMC. This deal's only good till 6 o'clock tonight. We need your credit card to hold the color. Hold the color. Summer package. Winter package. And the ever-famous re-PDI fee. I gotta pay you to rebuild the car? Does this sound familiar? At Northgate, we do things differently. We offer 0% financing, a great selection of new, pre-owned vehicles. So if you'd like to do business a different way, stop in and see us today. 13215 97th Street, or visit us online at northgategm.com.
You're in Northgate country.
Rev up for a ride that truly matters. Join the Princess Auto Ride for Dad Edmonton, where hundreds of motorcycles fire up and roll out together in one unforgettable moment. Enjoy a scenic route, great food, amazing prizes, fundraising awards, and a whole community riding shoulder to shoulder. Collect pledges to support prostate cancer research and awareness in the fight against prostate cancer. Ride strong, ride proud to make a difference on Saturday, June 13th, starting at Blackjack's Roadhouse in Nisku. Register now at ridefordad.ca.
The puck is passed up through the neutral zone, and here's a breakaway. He's coming in hot. He shoots it. Oh no, a broken stick.
When it comes to performance, quality parts matter. Napa Auto Parts has all the reliable parts, tools, and more to keep your vehicle running like a playoff contender. With over 85 locations in Alberta, visit your local Napa store today or shop online at napacanada.com. That's Napa know-how.
Portions of this hour brought to you by 01 Hockeyology, Edmonton's home for elite hockey development, skating analysis, performance assessments, and year-round training at West Edmonton Mall. Hockey development at 01.ca. That's ZERONE.ca.
The Jason Gregor Show, the best of Edmonton sports talk and beyond. This is Sports 1440.
Presented by PlayAlberta.ca, Alberta's only regulated online gambling website.
So Friday rolling through. How you doing, Gregor? Wanye, Connor Halley, Declan Kruger, and a busy. I can't believe we're like 3 hours into the show already almost. This is awesome. What a lovely Friday. Let's get to 5 questions brought to you by The Brick, where this weekend you have the kickoff deals. How about this? Door crasher alert. 5-piece dining packages for only $6.99 tonight through until Monday. You can get a Frigidaire top freezer fridge for only $349. Stop in at The Brick or thebrick.com this week.
It's time for 5 questions on the Jason Gregor Show.
All right, guys, it's going to be a polarizing subject on X last night. Are you Team Torts or Team NHL when it came to the controversial goal challenge and result last night?
I'll never be Team Vegas. I'll never be Team Torts, just on principle, Connor. It's one of the few things I stand for in this life.
I had no problem with him challenging that call. I wasn't sold that it was going to be overturned. I watched it multiple times, and to me, Dave Jackson did the best. It's blown down. The refs, and you've seen it before, where you're in the process of, you don't have to hear the whistle. If the referee feels like, hey, I've moved my hand, I'm going to blow it, that's when in his mind the play's dead. And he thought the play was dead. I didn't think it would get overturned, but I also understood why at that moment you're like, well, your penalty kill had been great. You'd only allowed 6 goals on 52 chances. And your whole bench was screaming, that's a goal. So I get why he did it.
Question number 2. We touched on it a little bit there, but Brady McNabb took the puck straight to the face. Is it Ross who gets hit in Friends like that when he's sitting in the crowd? Yeah. Anyways, is there a more painful injury in sport? And also, how many games do you think he misses?
Well, I've never been hit by it, but I got to think like baseball comebackers in the face. Eek. That would not be good. But also, I still think as bad as that one is in the face, because I saw it happen to a guy, block shot in the nuts when your can unfortunately pinches one of the berries off. And I've seen guys lose it. So guy lost one of his berries because where the pressure was, it was like a pressure, and one was outside the can. And so when it pressed in, ouch.
Unconscious?
No, he didn't pass out. But he was in a lot of pain.
No doubt.
So yeah, that would be worse.
I think blocking shots, we talked about it earlier, is one of the most dangerous things in pro sports, Connor. I've also, though, seen NHL players like we were talking about with Smitty come back preposterously quick from something like this. I think he'll still come back in the finals.
I still remember that. I don't know if it's true or not, Gregor, but the old wives' tale that happening in football as well. That's why nobody was wearing any cups down there. Question number 3 for you guys. Elks got their season tomorrow in Ottawa. What's your official prediction for the score?
Well, I'm going to predict an Elks win. elksnation.ca. You can swing by to celebrate. 21-18.
I believe the Elks will win 27-16.
I'm with Gregor. I kind of feel like a convincing win is coming.
It's only taken 7 years, so yeah, why not?
I'm going to bring back Tell Me I'm Wrong for this question here. Tell me I'm wrong. The CFL absolutely messed up by not having the Grey Cup champions kicking off the season. Not even playing this week.
I can't tell you wrong. I don't understand it. Like, WTF. Honestly, this makes no sense to me. Well, why do you have to have 3 teams on a bye in the first week of the season? What are we doing? This never happened before. You don't need it to happen. And especially, like, you should have, I would argue, the first game of the season in the CFL should be at home of the team who won the Grey Cup. If you win the Grey Cup, you get to open the next season, game 1. It's probably a Thursday. Your crowd's not going to care because that's, you know what, you're going to raise the banner. That should be, okay, now the new season begins because now we've officially put a bow on the last season. So I just think, yeah, terrible decision.
Does that mean they're not raising the banner till next week?
Yeah, that's right.
Oh, terrible. Fair statement, Connor.
Thank you. Final question for you guys today. Mark Wahlberg turns 55 years old. Of all his work, what are your favorite 3 movies of his?
Mark Wahlberg is 55 years old.
He is.
Did you see that Anthony Maroon, Gregor, is playing for the London Knights now? Big Rig's kid. Speaking of people who are older than you think. Anthony Maroon. Anyways, top 3 movies, Mark Wahlberg. Number 1, Boogie Nights. Classic. 2, Three Kings featuring Ice Cube. Also classic. 3, Ted. Not a classic.
Ted is pretty funny though. He's had a lot of movies, man. I'm gonna go with Invincible. Great movie. I'm also gonna go with Contraband and The Fighter.
The Fighter is a great movie.
Yeah, Fighter's really good.
Connor?
I'll go away from the ones you guys select because he's got a big list to choose from. Give me The Departed at number 1.
Oh, good one.
Shooter at 2, and then The Other Guys.
Oh, the
hilarious
Other Guys.
movie.
Other Guys is really funny. Actually.
I left off 4 Brothers. That was good too, but
yeah,
he's got a great resume there.
Oh, he does, man. Joe Bell's a really good movie too that he was in. The Lone Survivor, another classic. So yeah, he's been in a lot. 2 Guns was kind of funny. So I haven't seen Mile 22 yet. I don't know if it's any good or not. But Other Guys, that was a really good one. Cons. That was a classic.
And I loved Invincible, your pick there. Vince Papali. Great movie, great soundtrack. Even like the visuals in that movie when they go to they show him playing at the old Cowboy Stadium.
Yes.
Looked awesome. So
yeah,
great movie.
Yeah, no, I thought it was. I really like that movie, man. So, but he's been a lot, and hey, but who knew that Marky Mark and the Funky Bunch would go from that to what he's become?
It's an incredible career.
Oh God, yeah.
You wouldn't pick Marky Mark to be a guy who's still relevant at 55.
Not when you like. Well, you look back and just. Because his kind of claim to fame was a song, and then the fact that the guy was absolutely ripped and jacked, and then he was doing like, I don't think it was Fruit of the Loom, but I couldn't remember the name of the underwear. But remember, he was always just like,
Calvin Klein.
Was it Calvin Klein?
Yep.
Okay, well there you go. So, pretty successful, and he's been in like, good drama movies. He's done some good comedy. The Other Guys, Con's a very good example because that was hilarious.
I know we're on the radio, but I just have to say it. He has 3 nipples.
What?
Yeah. Marky Mark has 3 nipples. So
where do you see that?
It's on the internet. It's known. It's in photos. They used to airbrush it out in his Calvin Klein ads.
Really?
Yes.
Oh, well,
I have to tell everybody. I have
to. So there's the third one just right in the middle? Like
No,
where
it's
did the third
underneath.
nipple go? Well, are you sure it's not just like a skin flap?
No, it's a whole thing online.
Skin tag, I think is what it's called.
People talked about it then.
You
and
get
now.
a third nipple and it goes under, like at the bottom of your pec?
Yeah, there's people who have like rows, Gregor. It's a genetic condition.
Of nipples?
Yes.
They're like pigs?
Yeah.
Hmm.
I suppose.
Wow.
Marky Mark is not a pig.
Really?
Yeah.
Men and women?
Shit. over my pay grade. I know that Marky Mark for sure is in the game.
Oh, wow. I have to say something I learned today.
Happy birthday, Trey.
Hey, boys, I loved his character, Bobby Mercer in Four Brothers. Ah, there you go. Four Brothers was good. Spencer, Confidential, guys. This is actually pretty funny, too. I like that one. But yeah, we're getting a lot of texts in on Four Brothers. Hey, guys, what about Rockstar? Oh, yeah. I forgot about that movie. It's a good one. When we return, we got 1 hour left in the week, man. What a positive Friday show. That's 3 hours in the books, just like that. I love it. We got Spec and LT coming up, stats of the day and more. It's a Gregor Show presented by PlayAlberta.ca as we get to Sports 1440 update brought to you by Northgate Chevrolet Buick GMC. The June Road Trip Ready event is on right now. It's their biggest sale of the year. You can enter for a chance to win free gas for the summer, weekly prizes like detailed packages, free tires, and more. NorthgateGM.com.
This is the Sports 1440 update.
Okay, so you mentioned Montreal Canadiens captain Nick Suzuki was named the winner of the Selfie Trophy today for the forward who best excels in the defensive aspect of the game. Meanwhile, his teammate Cole Caulfield winning the Lady Byng. In the association tonight, Spurs and Knicks meeting in San Antonio. Tip-off set for 6:30. New York leads that series 1-0. The Blue Jays in action hosting the Orioles at 5:07. We'll join that game in progress following the Jason Gregor Show. 2 games underway right now. Phillies, White Sox are scoreless. Mariners lead the Tigers 1-0 in the second. Later tonight, Rangers and Guardians. The Royals with the Twins, Mets, and Padres. Angels in LA taking on the Dodgers. And the Cubbies earlier today falling to the Giants 18-3. In the CFL, Week 1 rolls on. Calgary and Winnipeg at 7 tomorrow. The Elks kick off their season in Ottawa at 5 o'clock. Riverhawks also in action tonight on the island, taking on Nanaimo. That one gets going at 7:35. And beginning shortly, Canada's one last tune-up for the World Cup. They'll take on Ireland in a friendly. Coming up in hour 4 of the Jason Gregor Show, we'll be joined by Mark Spector of Rogers Sportsnet and Alan Mitchell, host of The Lowdown with Lowtide. I'm Connor Halley. This has been a Sports 1440 update.
Sports 1440 in West Edmonton Mall and Wetaskiwin. CKJR is a Stingray radio station.
Download the free radio player app and listen wherever you go.
When your project can't afford downtime, call Japa Equipment Rentals. From excavators and wheel loaders to compaction equipment, Japa has the machines you need. Trusted since 1972. Visit japaequipment.com or stop our Edmonton or Calgary locations. Who's that working on the underground utilities over there? All-Star Construction, that's who. What about the street lighting? Yep, All-Star Construction. And the directional drilling, hydrovacking, neighborhood renewal, and telecommunication work? Yep. Since 2009, All-Star Construction has been doing all that and more, shaping and building Edmonton communities for land developers all around Edmonton. That's what All-Star Construction is all about.
The job isn't done until the last load is hauled, and having a semi-trailer out of commission is not an option. Whether replacing or adding to your convoy, Edmonton Trailer has a huge inventory of new and used semi-trailers, trusted by the gravel, logging, oil field, fluids, and freight industries. Find a trailer right for you online or at one of their 3 locations. For sales, service, parts, rental, and finance, when you're in it for the long haul, Edmonton Trailer.
Getting your vehicle sparkling clean doesn't have to cost a fortune. Take it into Hughes today and pay just loonies a watt.
Find us at HughesCarWash.com. Say hello to your new favorite drinks. Introducing new McCafe Refreshers. Icy cool, undeniably refreshing, and available in 3 flavors. Strawberry watermelon, mango pineapple, and blackberry passion fruit. Only at McDonald's.
Action Electrical Solar Team is now making a play for sustainability and savings. They're specialists in powering up for a greener future.
That's the strategy, designing and installing high-efficiency solar panels. They're helping homes and businesses combat rising utility costs by harnessing the power of the sun.
A smart move for efficiency and the environment. Hire the Action Electrical team to bring home a win for your project. Visit actionelectrical.net.
Are you overwhelmed by debt and getting nonstop calls from creditors? It can feel like there's no escape. Debt doesn't have to be a life sentence. A single call can turn things around. My name is Parveen Middleton. I'm a licensed insolvency trustee at BDO right here in Edmonton. I can help you become debt-free with a solution just for you. Let's put an end to those calls from creditors together. Call 1-833-BDO-TALK or visit bdodebt.ca to discover your debt-free future.
For over 60 years, the folks at Diablo Boots have been selling the best Canadian-made boots. Handcrafted in Winnipeg, Canada West makes the best quality cowboy, biker, and work boots for Diablo Boots with replaceable soles and heels. Why buy cheaper quality like Area Adjusted and Red Wing made in China when Canadian-made is better? Support Canada's workers and Diablo Boots for the best boots. So save on boots by Save On Foods. That's Diablo Boots, 3340 Gateway Boulevard on the east side of Save On Foods. Canada West and Diablo Boots, the two best names in the boots business.
Portions of this hour brought to you by Crystal Glass, your clear choice for residential windows, locally manufactured and installed. Crystal Glass provides beautiful products and incredible customer services for all of your residential needs. Call 310 Glass or visit crystalglass.ca for a quote.
This is Sports 1440, where Edmonton talks sports.
On YouTube, Facebook, and X.
Here's Jason Gregor.
Brought to you by playalberta.ca.
Positive Friday, Sports 1440. Hey, is this still raining out there? Man, it never come down earlier. Obviously, here in the West Edmonton Mall studios. Don't have a window to see outside, so we do have a sick new mural, though, on the wall that looks pretty awesome. I will say that.
You know, I laughed. They put the scooter on top of the Talus balls.
Yeah.
Did you see that photo?
I did.
That is very timely. Whoever put that on there, promoted.
Tamara, yes. Tamara, smart.
Very funny.
Very smart.
That's a great mural.
It is. It's unbelievable. I put it up on IG yesterday. I think for people like if you're an Edmontonian, there's got a lot of things in Edmonton that are quite like obviously tied in with sports. So it's actually really nice, man. It just used to be like a plain white wall. Now it's like, spices things up a bit. So it's nice. Gregor Show always brought to you by playalberta.ca. Hey, you can spice things up. Lotto Max. $15 million. You could paint a few murals for $15 million, or even one of their 15 prizes of $100,000 up for grabs tonight at playalberta.ca. 833-401-1440, 833-401-1440 is where you can text us. Let's get to the Spec Report now, brought to you by GS Construction, your underground infrastructure specialist. If you are in need of a new job, or maybe just a different job, they're hiring. gsconstruction.ca. Look up careers. It's Mark Spector from Rogers Sportsnet. Joins us, Spec. Good afternoon. How you doing?
Good. How was Scotty's tournament this morning?
Oh, buddy, you know what? It was great because the rain stayed away. We pretty much finished it around, I had to leave at 1:35. We had my team had like one hole left. And they got into the clubhouse, and then basically it started pouring. So perfect time. And I felt for the people. There was another tournament starting around 2:30, so they might have been a little wet. So it lucked out for sure. So that was great. I think he's retiring now. 15 years he ran a tournament. And by the way, shout out to Nestor Pastorano. He's 91 years of age. He hit a 240-yard drive today off the tee.
Get out.
Yes.
Holy
91 years of age. It was unreal. And also, speaking of legends, Brian Hall was out there too. Oh, Halsey. God, his hair still looks unreal.
Is that right?
I don't know what the hell he's feeding it, but it looks great. So, yeah, it was great to see Halsey as well out there wheeling around, sharp as a tack. But, 240 yards off the tee. 91 years of age, buddy. It's unreal.
Pretty good for the old wine-stoned plowboy, as I recall.
He is a funny dude, man. God, he is hilarious. Oh, God, he's funny. And really, like even now, man, he is sharp as a tack, like quick-witted. It's good. It's the first tournament I was in. They have the heckle hole, Spec. And oh my God, that is a great thing in a golf tournament. The heckle hole.
Who was the heck? Do they hire a heckler to sit
Yeah, they hired two guys that they're from stand-up comedian guys and the improvs, and they're there and they just chirp as the guy gets up over the tee, they're just chirping him and you're just dying. It's hilarious. Like one of our, your buddies, and every guy's getting chirped, of course, and just like man, you look like an angry Amish football coach. And then he was just chirping about because his golf pants were too long. Like they pick out and literally like, you walk up to the tee box. It's not like they've got 15 minutes to think of something. It was it's pretty good. So I will say that, man, we were chuckling about that. Like it's obviously great when your buddies get chirped. You just get up there and as long as it's not you. So and of course they do you, but it always seems funnier when it's someone else. So it was fun. It was good. Thought it broke up the day quite nicely. The Stanley Cup final. No joke right now, man. It's highly entertaining. Where did you come out on the challenge? Did you like the decision or did you think it was ill-timed?
No. I see how you challenge that. I see how you say, you know what? Like, what's there? 5.5 minutes left or something. It's basically the 3-2 goal in a tied game. It's, you're putting your faith in your penalty kill. You're telling your PK guys, I'll make this challenge. I get making the challenge. The part I don't for sure totally get here is Francis Chiron was in perfect position. He watched the puck go underneath Frederik Andersen. I guess he blew the whistle or intended to blow the whistle, whatever. He said the play was dead. He waved his arms. And then even when it went in, he watched it go in and he still said, no goal, no goal, no goal. So my question becomes, what exactly are we challenging here? Like the goaltender interference was minimal. I know that the league came out and said that was kind of what they were talking about, but I guess I'd love to ask Torts, like I like the spirit of the challenge, the timing of the challenge I'm fine with. I'd like to ask what he thought would get turned over there because I'm not sure I know. Do you?
Well, I think it was challenging. They were just going to say it was a good goal. Right. As to why, though, you're right. Like it's hard to Dave Jackson did a great job of explaining in the process of blowing the whistle. And I've seen that before. Yeah, sure, it can be frustrating, but when the ref is in his mind, I'm bringing my hand up to it. That's the play's dead at that moment in my mind.
I think, and like, listen, you can't deny that the puck was out of sight of the referee. When under Freddie Andersen, it spent, relatively speaking, a fair bit of time underneath the goalie, out of sight of the referee who was in perfect position. He lost sight of the puck, man. It was under the goalie. He's blowing the whistle. That's the part that I'm not sure that ever gets turned over, Jay. I just don't see it. So I'm not going to carve up Torts. He's trying his best to win a hockey game. That's all he's doing.
No, and you could tell his bench, like they all wanted him to challenge it. So I think sometimes as a coach, you got to show, hey, you know what? And also Carolina's power play had been brutal. Yes, and Vegas' penalty kill was great. And then all of a sudden they not only score there on the power play, then they score in overtime on the power play and a massive goal. Because I'll say this, it's one game and Jarvis scored. That's great. I just can't see Carolina winning this series if Jarvis, Aho, and Svechnikov are passengers offensively. They need to be leaders offensively.
Yeah. Oh, any team, how far the Oilers going to go if McDavid, Hyman, and whoever their left winger is are completely unproductive. How far does Vancouver get without Pettersson? How far did Montreal survived a pretty slow playoff by Cole Caulfield? But in the end, Suzuki scored a bunch of points. Hudson was productive. Your best guys got you there. Your best guys got to continue to get you there. There's nothing exclusive about Carolina where somehow they can win when their first line doesn't produce, because nobody else wins when their first line doesn't produce. That's just a sport, man.
Oh, yeah. Like you can get a game or two here, but you get in the Stanley Cup final. I think it's a must. Now, one guy who is producing is Brett Howden. And you can make a strong argument that Brett Howden could be the leader for the Conn Smythe right now. He's got 13 goals in the playoffs. Right? There's not many guys who score 13 goals in the playoffs. And like Mitch Marner doesn't have a goal in the conference final or the final yet. And Stanley Cup winners to have no goals in the Stanley Cup final or the third round spec are only goalies. So I honestly think like Brett Howden right up there, Shea Theodore, same thing. And, Marner's in the conversation, but I don't think he's the leader just based on eventually you got to score some goals if you're a forward.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, listen, just, having voted on a lot of Conn Smythes over the years, the first 3 rounds sets the table for the Conn Smythe. you come into the Stanley Cup and you go, okay, there's about 4 or 5 guys on each team that could do this. But it's the performance in the Stanley Cup final that secures whether you win the Conn Smythe or not. Nobody gets a Conn Smythe for having 3 real good rounds and then being dormant in the Cup final. Like that's just how, certainly as one voter, I can tell you that you got to produce in the 4th round, the biggest round, the most important round. So I love Brett Howden, man. He's like, what happened here? Where the hell did he come from? I know you had him on. Didn't you have him on your show right before the playoffs started?
No, I had him actually on during, because when I talking about Cassidy, and it was after the second round, and he'd already scored a fair amount of goals then, but he's just continued to score.
Like he's like Chris Kontos or somebody. Like Brett Howden has never been. I mean, you said it. He scored 12 goals all season. 13 in the playoffs. Absolutely. If he continues down this road and pops a few more, you're darn right he should get a look for Conn Smythe. Like, for sure. Productive, leads the team in goal scoring, scoring big goals, important goals, producing in all 4 rounds. He checks every box, man.
Yeah.
Every box. So he's certainly in the conversation. For me, if I'm voting tomorrow with Vegas, Theodore's way up the ladder too. And then I think the elephant in the room is they got a pretty good goalie there that probably a lot of people don't want to vote for.
Yeah, I do think, though, his numbers in the final are probably going to, eliminate that, right? You just, it's tough for, like, they're not winning the games right now because of the goaltending for sure. Like, and now we can, I'm not saying the goalie's been awful because I don't think the goals have necessarily been poor, but if you're giving up 8 goals in 2 games,
that's
sure. I think he's going to just shutout or 2 here, I think, to get back.
You're not advancing your cause as a Conn Smythe winner, giving up 4 a night. That is a fair statement, Jay.
Yeah. Spec, your article about Nurse has lots of people talking, about it. And, I've seen stories about how, Nurse was upset that, things got leaked out that he had asked, and, he said no to a trade last, or to considering waiving his no movement clause, which is his right, 100%. And I could see how a player, because the minute that gets out publicly, it's going to look negative on you, right? Like, that's why I firmly believe St. Louis tried to put the pressure on Colton Parayko when they had the trade to leak that the trade was out there. Now they put the pressure on him, and then he had to wait like a week, and he's like, no, I'm not doing it, right? So I do think it comes from the organization, no question on that one. But do you think now that it's out there, Spec, does it make it sooner rather than later with Nurse? Or do you still envision a scenario where Nurse is back in Edmonton when the season begins in October?
Well, I mean, first of all, it's a pure guess. There's only one guy who knows, right? And that's Darnell Nurse. So I guess I'll say this to you. Like, I feel like he's reached a point in his career where we know he's not going to be Ryan Nugent-Hopkins and play it out in Edmonton. That's clear as a bell. So if my team is, and I honestly I'm very sure that Bowman will lay down the options here. The options are work with us on a trade right now, or we're just going to trade you to one of the 20 teams we can trade you to next year. And you won't have a say now. So it probably behooves Darnell Nurse to pick his spot this year. Don't you think? Wouldn't you say, I would rather have a huge hand in which team I go to, as opposed to giving you a 10-team no trade list, and then there's 21 other teams you can trade me to. So I guess under those circumstances, my guess, and it's a guess because only Darnell knows, my guess is he's going to say, okay, my agent, Stan Bowman, me, let's start working on a team here I can go to. What do you think?
It's a totally fair question. And I do believe that as a player, you want to play where you feel appreciated. And that I think now, if a team's talked about it once and now they're talking about it again, clearly they feel that it's time for you to move on. And I know you talked about it yesterday, and I think it's a very valid point that there's lots of players and lots of human beings where we get comfortable in the situation we're in. You work at Bob's Diner, and then there's Pete's Diner down the road, and they offer you, well, geez, I really like working at Bob's Diner. And then all of a sudden you go to Pete's and you're like, oh, some things are different. Some things are better. Some things are worse. It's not always better when you go to the new place. But I think that that's part of it. I also do think that Darnell Nurse has been on a team that's went to game 6 and 7 of the Stanley Cup final. And I'm sure he looks around the room and still believes that Edmonton's a good team here. They're not that far away. And I could see how he's like, I don't want to go to a team that's 5 steps away. I'd like to be a team that's in one of those, what I like to call, I think there's, at the start of every season, Spec, I think there's 8, at most 10 teams that I say they're real cup contenders. Then health and a few other things into it, right?
Teams that have a legit shot.
So if I'm Nurse, I'm like, okay, I'll get traded, but I want to go somewhere where I still have a shot. I think I've earned that right, and I could understand if he did that.
Yeah, so there's one more part to this. Let's say they sign Connor Murphy.
Yep.
Okay, so your right side is set. Your right side is Bouchard's your top pair, Connor Murphy's in your second pair, and Emberson's on your third pair. So that's your right side. On your left side, I'm sure that Wallman is going to get a couple more extra. They want Wallman to play more minutes this year. This is a separate conversation. We can complain and have all the fear we want about Wallman playing more. We're not talking about that right now. He's going to play more minutes next year. I would say to you, Ekholm is very likely to play a few less minutes next year.
Yeah.
So if the writing is on the wall that maybe Wallman's going to start the year with Bouchard, you're not playing Ekholm on your third pairing with Emberson. And I'm looking at Darnell Nurse and saying, you're probably going to be my third pairing defenseman with Emberson on the left side. That may also help to make him say, well, I don't want to come back be a third pairing guy.
Yeah, interesting, though, that he would be the third pair guy. Like, why wouldn't he just play with Murphy, right?
Is Ekholm going to be a third pairing guy?
Well, he's 36 years of age, right? Like, I think
he's better than Nurse.
Well, when we say third pair, Spec, to me, it's about minutes played. And like Nurse played the most minutes in the playoffs of any Oilers defenseman at 5-on-5. So, and Paul Coffey clearly viewed him as a pretty good player. Like, he was better than Ekholm in the playoffs. I don't even think that's up for debate. Right. Yeah. So I don't like, I look at the Oilers here, and they're in a situation where Nurse has some flaws in his game, but I don't think the flaws, I think people are trying to make the flaws bigger than they are, because him and Murphy in the postseason were easily their best pair. I don't think anyone debates that. Bouchard and Ekholm. Now, they played with them, and that line, their kind of 5-man unit wasn't very good. I think we'd all agree on that. Injuries may be a factor, sure, but Nurse and Murphy were their best defense pair in the playoffs. And so, but maybe that's how you can get more. Like, I still chuckle at people who think you just give Nurse away for nothing. I'm like, man, I think you're underestimating. And the other thing, Spec, like, we talk about Jake Wallman, and you can say, okay, yeah, he'll play with Bouchard for how many games? So I looked it up. So Darnell Nurse got injured in 2017. He only played 44 games that year. Since then, there's 9 full seasons. He's missed 18 games. He's played every game in 6 of the 9 years. He missed 11 games once, 6 games once, and 1 game once. That's it. Jake Wallman's last 4 years, he's missed 19, 19, 17, 29.
Yep.
So those are other factors the organization has to be cognizant of.
That's a Stan Bowman problem right there. Because Wallman's about to start a 7-year. Is it 7 years, $7 million?
Yep.
Yeah. So Wallman's. We might be. We might have this. We might be having this conversation 3 years from now on Wallman. Who knows? But at the moment, we're having it about Nurse. And at the moment, the 9.25 and the level of play you're getting for 9.25 and several years now of. Look, this guy's not getting any better. I think it's just, if you want to compartmentalize it, Jay, and knock it down to the playoffs of last season, that's fair. I think this is a longer-term thing.
Yeah, that's fair.
We've watched defensive coaches from Jim Johnson to Trent Yanni to Dave Manson to Mark Stewart. All these guys are getting run out of town, and Darnell Nurse keeps coming back playing big minutes, and every one of them leaves and tells you the same thing. He doesn't compute the game. He doesn't have a awareness in the game. We show him things on film. He's very coachable. He doesn't execute them at all. The fact that he was almost a healthy scratch in the 2024 Stanley Cup final. This is a big picture thing, Jay. So I'm not going to argue with you who was the best pair in the playoffs last year in a one series we weren't very good, lost in 6 games, and it's over. I'm saying to you that this organization now, it's time. They've had enough of paying a number 4 defenseman $9.25. They need something fresh here.
All right. I don't discount that. I've said all along, you want to trade Darnell Nurse. There's lots of reasons why I could see that argument being truthful. All I'm saying is if you just want to give him away because you want to get rid of him and you're frustrated, that didn't work out for Stu Skinner, and it would probably work just as bad for Darnell Nurse. So make a trade that allows your team, and trust me, like if you're Connor McDavid and Leon Draisaitl, like, okay, you're going to trade one of our best friends. Okay, fine. We better not take another step back because trust me, that'll just take McDavid another step closer to leaving when he can.
Oh yeah. Well, hey, I mean, I heard you say earlier you can't make a Jari trade. Well, no kidding. You can't make crappy trades and expect to get better. The Jari trade was a disaster. Yeah. And Bowman doesn't have one more in him of those. Or he's the next guy everyone's calling for his head. You can't continue to make a trade that you get crushed on the way they did on the Jari trade. So sure, you may trade Nurse for not a whole bunch, but you retain tons of cap. You get a whole bunch of cap space, and that allows you to go make another trade or a free agency thing. So it's probably a 2-part thing, Jay. I don't see you trading Nurse and getting an awesome player back. I see you trading Nurse and trying to get as much cap space back as you can, and then in turn taking that cap space and trying to do something smart with it.
Spec, have yourself an awesome weekend. Enjoy the Stanley Cup Final Game 3, and we'll set up Game 4 and talk about the weekend NBA. The Elks, are they going to win a home opener for the first time in Elks history?
What the hell? I'll pick them. I'll pick them up. I'll be sitting there with a cold beer watching it happen, buddy.
Okay. There you go. Green and gold. All right. Have a good one. That's Mark Spector, the Spec Report, brought to you by GS Construction. We'll return. LT will join us. Yes, of course, some green and gold talk, some order talk, and more. They're in Sports 1440, sports1440.ca, YouTube, Facebook, X, and Instagram, brought to you by playalberta.ca.
And your energy begins to fade. One hero rises above the rest. Introducing the Superpower Smoothie from Booster Juice. A bright sun-charged burst of mangoes, bananas, and blue spirulina. An out-of-this-world smoothie, just in time for the new Supergirl movie. Discover your power and channel your inner superhero. Fly into your local Booster Juice and experience it for yourself today. And see Supergirl. Only in theaters June 26th.
Wow, get ready for a silly hockey fans. Your partner in power just skated onto the ice.
EWEL.ca, the new e-commerce website for electrical wholesalers Edmonton, is ready for the power play 24/7, 365.
UL skates to where the puck will be in 5 years. Now that's forward thinking.
Killer selection, slamming products from the best brands, and legendary service.
Don't sit on the bench. Get your account today at EWEL.ca and win that project.
Plug into your partner in power. Get an EWEL.ca account today.
Attention Alberta construction pros. For over 50 years, Jaffa Equipment Rentals has been your go-to for top-notch equipment and stellar service. Whether you need rentals or expert maintenance, we've got you covered. Stop by our Edmonton or Calgary locations today.
Just in time for the big game, score big savings at the Brick. Save up to $1,300 off sofas. Save up to 50% on open box TVs. Plus, save up to 40% on select mattresses. And Friday to Monday, score even bigger with limited time specials and amazing door crasher deals in every department. Like the Arbor Queen bed, just $199. Or a Frigidaire top freezer fridge, just $349. See store for details and exclusions. The Brick, saving you more.
Photographers, start your cameras. Vision Credit Union's annual photo contest is back. We're asking you to show us the people, places, and moments that made you glad you chose this rural life. Maybe it's the view from your farm, a walk down Main Street, neighbors pitching in, a weekend at the rodeo, or a sunset down a back road. Share your photo to show why life in rural Alberta is a choice worth celebrating. Enter and vote at whatsyourshare.ca.
Debt can take over your life. The stress, the constant worry, it can feel like you're drowning. When people come to see me, they're often anxious and feeling hopeless. But when I explain how I can help them get out of debt, those feelings melt away. I'm Parveen Middleton, licensed insolvency trustee at BDO here in Edmonton. I will create a personalized debt relief plan so you can move forward with confidence. Call 1-833-BDO-TALK or visit bdodebt.ca to discover your debt-free future.
Legacy Heating and Cooling is the #1 air conditioning install company for slushy lovers. Because while a slushy keeps you cool as an 80s song for a moment, AC from Legacy keeps you cold as ice all season long. A permanent full-body slushy sensation keeping you cold as ice with no payments and no interest for 1 year. Keeping you cool without the brain freeze. That's how you build a legacy. Legacy Heating and Cooling.
Portions of this hour brought to you by Sherbrooke Liquor, the best place for wine, cocktails, and beers from all over the world. Also a variety of excellent non-alcoholic options. See more at SherbrookeLiquor.com.
The Jason Gregor Show, the best of Edmonton sports talk and beyond. This is Sports 1440.
Presented by PlayAlberta.ca, Alberta's only regulated online gambling website.
.532 Friday afternoon. Had a little bit of rain. Now it looks like it's stopped, and hopefully it'll be a rain-free weekend. Get outside, do some golfing, some biking, running, whatever you're doing, just playing around. Should be great. And then you get in, you'll be watching some hockey, some baseball, some football, maybe a little tennis. You got women's tomorrow, French Open final, men's on Sunday. Man, there's lots going on. Elks tomorrow, 5 o'clock. Their first game of the season, as they once again have an opportunity to win their first game of the season. Something they haven't done since 2019. They've never done it as an Elks. 02, 03, 09, 07, 03. God, like you add it up, and they're 0-24 before they get their first win in their last 5 years. Ouch. Ouch. So they'll try to end that tonight. Maybe build some momentum to come home for their home opener in week 3. Now, let's get to the Oil/Elks report brought to you by Go Auto. Not only do they have 15,000 vehicles to choose from, but more so, they care about the community. They have donated over $27 million to charities and help giving back in the communities they work. That's goauto.ca. As Alan Mitchell, host of the Lowdown weekdays, noon to 2 here on Sports 1440, joins us. Let's start with the green and gold, Al, and your expectations against an Ottawa team. Like, to me, Ottawa's offensive line is not very good. Their star running back is out with an injury. This is the opportunity for the Elks D-line to get off to a good start.
Yeah, and it's the whole team. They, you laid it out there. It's actually breathtaking how bad they've been early in the year. And, I think that this year especially, I think that there's a sense of hope, and the coverage was pretty positive. I mean, it's not like it's been fantastic preseason, but they've done some good things. They brought back a lot of players. There's some profile players. I just feel like if there's ever going to be a turn north here, and I know a lot of guys my age, there's been bitching and moaning about the team's record, but also the clear bag and all those other, the name change, all of that. But you know what? If they win like this weekend and they go like 3, winning cures damn near everything. They just have to do it. And I know we say this every year, but this is the first year I really felt like there was momentum in the offseason from the previous year. And they were decisive. They made a decision on Trey Ford. They've gotten themselves in a position where their quarterback room has more than one guy that might be able to be counted on this year. And they've got a great running game. So we'll see, but it's encouraging, and I am encouraged that they're playing Ottawa in the first weekend, because there's some teams that are better, and this Ottawa team is ripe for the picking, I think. And a good start builds momentum, and a football program can go a long way if they get off on the right foot.
Yeah, get some momentum. It would be nice. What's your expectation for Fajardo this year?
Man, I like him as a quarterback. I think that the CFL has There's a type of quarterback who can, you don't have to be an Olympic, sprinter, but if you can move around, you can, do some damage. Now he's an older quarterback now, but I'm a little worried in that this is a tough league. There's a lot of throws, that long throw across your body. There's a lot of things that he's going to have to do. You said it a few weeks ago. He's going to have to throw into coverage downfield more than 8 yards, and that's going to be the pressure's on him. But he's a veteran, and I like that they have somebody who's had some struggles. You get a quarterback who's had varying degrees of success, but also some setbacks and come back from it. I think that's what they need. I think Fajardo is going to have a really good year. Not that I don't know that he's going to stay healthy all year. I don't know if he's going to be the starter all year, but I like that he's there. And they've got him. No matter what happens, they've got Fajardo, and he's a veteran quarterback. I like that idea going in.
Let's move to the orders, Al, and just with Spec's article, and now lots of other people reach out. Like a lot of people think that this is maybe the most likely it's ever going to happen. Do you believe so? Is Darnell Nurse an Oiler or somewhere else when the regular season begins?
Well, there's too much fire and smoke for it not to be at least true that they're going to go to him and see if he'll waive. And he's a year away. It's either this year or next year. The no movement eases next year. So I think he might be attracted to a specific area. I don't know which team he'd like to go to, but this might be the time. I'll say that he does move this summer. And everybody's talking San Jose. I always thought it would be Toronto. He's from there. They always need defensemen, and that might be wrong. But I do think there are markets in the NHL where he will have the general manager will believe that he will be able to go in there and help him. He skates miles. He can, a team like San Jose that needs somebody to just play minutes, gobble up minutes. He'd be a godsend for them. So I'll say he goes. Don't know where, but people keep talking about San Jose.
We were pointing earlier to Seth Jones going from Chicago to Florida. LT, you think it's a similar situation when Darnell Nurse is free of the fishbowl?
Yeah, I think there's a chance that that it's that old blasted Joni Mitchell song. You don't know what you got till it's gone. That there's been such a lot of pressure on Nurse, and we know he's not a perfect player, but he. His ability to go to the bench, spend 45 seconds, at rest, and then come back out on the ice. I think it's being overlooked a little bit. I remember there was a playoff game. I don't remember who the coach was mad at, but it might have been Ethan Bear, and it was an overtime game, and I think he played almost either 46 or 56 minutes. He played forever, and I'm not. He's a little older now, so maybe he doesn't have that endurance. But I think Darnell Nurse in the right system with the right team, and he's obviously, he's got room to grow. I know he's over 30 now, but sometimes when you get traded, it kind of resets you, and you go, well, maybe I'm going to have to adjust a little bit. I think whoever gets Nurse is going to be getting a really interesting player next season. He might surprise and make some people sorry that they ever want him to go.
Yeah, you're talking about that game against the Winnipeg Jets. He played 62 minutes in that game for overtime game. I think it was second or third most minutes all time in one playoff game for the Oilers. And if I'm not mistaken, I think he flew home after the game and was there, got home just in time as his wife welcomed their first child. So it was a pretty
wow, that's a quite a day.
Yeah, it was quite the eventful time. For sure. But yeah, he played 62 minutes, and I think Barry was 49, and then Larson was 39. Ethan Bear barely played. He played 14 minutes. Yep. Slater Cuckoo played 9:58, and Nurse they just kept putting him out over and over again. And he was they lost the game 4-3, and he was plus player playing 62 minutes. So it was a really good game. His athleticism there is great. Spec brought up the point that he feels like there's just there's lots of good sides to Nurse's game, but there's also other sides where you look and see he's not improving in kind of the hockey sense areas of the game. And I feel like the organization wants that to improve. And I've said all along, I have no problem with it, but I remind people, Darnell Nurse, you can get upset about it, but at least he's in the lineup every night. And if Jake Wallman's replacing his minutes, then Jake Wallman's going to have to find a way to be in the lineup more often.
Yeah, and that's it. Like I like Wallman. I love his, you've mentioned it before, where he does that move where he's behind the net and he's got a great first step and he's on his way when he's healthy. But when he's not healthy, that isn't a positive play. It's he can't do that. He's got a really good shot. There's a lot to like about Wallman. I assume, maybe I'm wrong, I assume that Nurse would be dealt and the idea would be not to retain too much and maybe they'll go out and trade for another expensive defenseman. But my assumption is that they would try to trade for a different position or get out from underneath the money and then spend it elsewhere. I think that if Nurse does move, Wallman moves into that second pairing. That is logical. But then you've got Ekholm and Wallman, who are a little bit injury prone on the left side of the defense.
Yeah, and that's just a concern, right? Like Ekholm's best days are behind him. Not the bad days yet, but his best days are behind him. You just look at age, right? Like there's not many guys who are 36, 37 that are playing as well as they always did. He's still a good player, but that is some areas of concern for sure. Lastly, Al, I know you follow sports. The Aaron Judge injury, and how do you think this impacts the Yankees? And could this open the door for the Jays to maybe gain some ground here in the next 2 months?
Yeah, it for sure can. And the Tampa Rays were not long ago. They were looking like they were.
Oh, they're on fire.
Yeah, and now they've come back to the pack a little bit, and that helps. And I do like the Jays. Like they've gotten they've gotten the bullpen straightened out. The Yasavich has come back. Hopefully, I don't know where Cease is, but I think he's coming back.
Close.
Gosman's money. They need a winning streak. They need to go sweep the Bo Sox and the Orioles and the Yankees and then this story is just starting. It's just the genesis. And I mean, last summer was a blast just watching everybody get excited about baseball. It had been a while, but the Blue Jays have. Vladdy hasn't woken up at all.
No.
I mean, just not at all.
No.
So, if you think about regression and how regression works and a 162 game schedule, hell, boys, I think they're about 60 games in. So they got 100 games. There's a long, long way to go here. I'm not saying I like their chances, but I'm saying that they've figured out enough here recently that I think that Jays fans should feel pretty good about this baseball team, especially here if they get to Canada Day and they're closer by a little bit more than they are now. Then I think it's going to be a really interesting summer.
Al, have yourself a spectacular weekend. We'll chat with you on Monday.
All right, be good, boys. Have a great one.
It's Alan Mitchell, aka Low Tide. Quick break. We'll come back, wrap things up on the Gregor Show with Wanye's World here on Sports 1440, sports1440.ca.
Craving a dining experience that rises above the rest? Head to Summit Restaurant in the Silent Ice Center, just minutes from South Edmonton Common. Savor exceptional house-made pizza, delectable entrees, and expertly crafted cocktails in a stylish, modern atmosphere. Perfect for a casual meal or a special night out. Summit offers a refined experience where every bite and sip reflects our dedication to quality. Elevate your dining experience. Make Summit Restaurant your destination tonight.
And now Action Electrical's testing team is on defense duty. They're the guardians of safety and compliance, a critical part of any lineup.
Precisely. They perform rigorous safety and code compliance testing for commercial operations. Think of them as the referees, ensuring everything is up to standard before disaster strikes.
Their preventative plays are legendary, spotting faults early. Hire the Action Electrical team to bring home a win for your project. Visit actionelectrical.net.
With Play Alberta, backing the home team goes beyond the bets. That's because your picks have provincial impact. Play Alberta is the only app in the province that puts all revenue directly back into supporting programs and services that Albertans rely on every day. By investing in the General Revenue Fund, every play, bet, and buy made on Play Alberta helps make a difference across the province. Visit playalberta.ca/Gregor to learn more. That's playalberta.ca/Gregor. Must be 18 plus to play. If you gamble, use your game sense.
Did you know there are actually 3 seasons we experience in June? Spring, summer, and construction season. And while roads may be narrowed and detours are everywhere, GS construction crews are on site every day doing the work because the city doesn't stop, and neither do we. As we build and upgrade infrastructure, life continues around us. That's why we never lose sight of what matters most, making sure everyone, including our team, returns home safely at the end of the day. For more on what we do, visit gsconstruction.ca.
Are new McCafe crafted sodas just drinks or something more? Like Sprite Berry Bliss, Creamy Strawberry Coke, and Orange Dream. All swirled with fizzy flavor and topped with silky cold foam. Only at McDonald's. At participating McDonald's restaurants in Canada.
Hi, Edmonton. Are you ready to serve up some summer fun? Join Subaru at the Edmonton Expo Center on June 13th from 11 a.m. to 2 p.m. for a free family-friendly tennis event designed for all ages from 3 to 83. Whether you're a seasoned player or have never picked up a racket, come to have fun and celebrate the start of tennis season in a comfortable indoor space. Register today at edmontontennis.ca. Make some memories and welcome summer with Subaru. Welcome to Uncommon.
Photographers, start your cameras. Vision Credit Union's annual photo contest is back. We're asking you to show us the people, places, and moments that made you glad you chose this rural life. Maybe it's the view from your farm, a walk down Main Street, neighbors pitching in, a weekend at the rodeo, or a sunset down a back road. Share your photo to show why life in rural Alberta is a choice worth celebrating. Enter and vote at whatsyourshare.ca.
Portions of this hour brought to you by Cantork, made in Canada, made for Canada, where extreme isn't theoretical. Find your solution at cantork.com.
The Jason Gregor Show, the best of Edmonton sports talk and beyond. This is Sports 1440.
Presented by PlayAlberta.ca, Alberta's only regulated online gambling website.
On Friday, we're going to ride things home quickly. How you doing? Gregor Show, presented by PlayAlberta.ca. Hope you have great plans for the weekend. Please, whatever you do, don't drink and drive. Don't weed and drive. Get home safe. Be smart. Have some fun. Life's about fun, but it's always more fun. You can arrive home safe and then have more fun another day. So plan ahead. 833-401-1440, 833-401-1440, as we're going to wrap up the show this week with a little Wanye's World. Wanye, what's going on?
Gregor, I was looking at this earlier and I said, can this be Wanye's World? And you said, it's groundbreaking news. 2 guys were playing golf. And this is on BBC.com, legit. We're playing golf together at the Royal Liverpool Golf Club. The first hole, they both got a hole-in-one.
The first hole's a par 3?
So it says 107 yards. The odds of 2 players in the same group getting a hole-in-one, 17 million to 1. Can you believe it?
Well, I'm just kind of like, yeah, that is wild, man. Like,
first hole par 3 is weird too.
I thought you were going to say that it was, 2 guys in the same round. And I'm like, okay, like, because one guy last year there was a guy who had two hole-in-ones in the same round, which is pretty crazy in itself. But to have on the same hole,
consecutive shots too.
Yeah.
One guy hit, then the other guy hit.
Yeah, like, talk about stealing your buddy's thunder. But still, they'd probably be like, "This is amazing!" Like together, like, oh my god, did they finish the round or they go right to the clubhouse?
Well, it says here that neither of them knew where their balls were, so they went up to the green, and the one guy thought he'd hit the flag, and they were looking in the rough. And then somebody else in their group was like, "Both of these are in the cup."
Oh, so there's other people in the group, which makes it probably
Witnessed
better.
It. Yeah,
like that's some wild stuff, man. Like, I've only ever seen a hole-in-one. It wasn't in my group. It was at a golf tournament out at Blackhawk, and it was hole 8, and they were the group in front of us, so we were waiting, and this guy hit like a worm burner, and it rolled down the hole down the hill there on 8 and just rolled in, and you just saw it tracking. I'm like, I think that's going to go in. And then it went in, like, this guy almost passed out. He wasn't a good golfer, right? And he calls his wife. His wife's like, she didn't believe him. He won a truck.
Won a truck?
He won a truck.
Well, you got to save your hole-in-one when you're going to win a truck.
And the other thing I found out today, there's a group of 10 buddies who they've each put $1,000 in this pot. And if one of them ever gets a hole-in-one, he wins the pot. The first guy in their group, because they're all fairly consistent golfers, and it doesn't have to be when you're together. Just if somebody gets a hole-in-one, basically you'll win 10 grand if you get the hole-in-one.
What do you think is I won't say obligation because that's not the right word, but what should the golf course do when someone gets a hole-in-one?
Well, I've seen places where you get the flag, right? And some places even frame it. But that's, I don't know, like how many holes in one are there? Like the golf courses could listen to, like I don't know, does it happen once a year?
Maybe once or twice tops.
Yeah. So, yeah, that's probably what I would do because it hangs on the wall. It's like advertising for the golf course. If you have it and you'd put it up, you have the flag that says, like the Glendale Golf and Country Club, and it's right on there with the flag. And then it would have and have it framed. Something like that would probably be good. But I don't know if it's if it's mandatory. But that's probably so. I don't know what I'm like. I know Carius, because when he got his hole-in-one, we had people reach out to say, "Hey, did he get his flag?" Right? Like the golf course was like, "Hey, did he get his flag?" So I'm assuming he got one. I should ask him. He just got a hole-in-one like last week.
Unreal. I know a guy was with somebody got a hole-in-one this season, and they went to the pro shop. I can't remember what course it was at. Local course, and they said, "Can we get the flag?" And the guy in the pro shop was like, "What? Why would you want the flag?" And they were like, "What? Why wouldn't we want the flag?" So then he had to like make a call to the course superintendent for the next morning when the greenskeepers were out and stuff like that. Now, back in the day when the world was fun, everyone in the clubhouse got a free drink if someone got a hole-in-one.
Paid for by the clubhouse?
By the clubhouse.
Oh, wow. I didn't know that.
Again, once or twice a year for the slim sliver of hope. If you get a hole-in-one, you get a free beer. I think that's a fair deal. I'm in hospitality.
Well, what would be tough would be you do it on a day when there's no one there. You're like, ka-ching, there's 4 guys in the clubhouse. Bob just got the hole-in-one. So, yeah. But, hey, man, I've never had a hole-in-one. I would, it would be nice. Like, to me, like, I'm not that great of a golfer. So, like, obviously I can hit the green and it being close, but it would be fun. Like,
would you get
make
the
no
flag
mistake.
framed?
Yeah, probably, because it's something you do once in your life. Like, I don't think I'm going to be a multi hole-in-one guy. Like, I don't even know if I'll ever be a hole-in-one guy. I plan on golfing a lot more when I retire. So maybe then. And hey, if I can be like Donnie asked, be 91 years of age, hitting at 240, then there's a chance, baby. You're telling me there's a chance. So that would be great. Have a great weekend, everyone. Be safe, be smart, or make someone smile. How about that? And we'll be back on Monday talking NBA, NHL finals. We're closer to the draft, so we'll get some more previews, some trade talk. Will the Elks get a win? We'll find out. Go see Connor Halley tomorrow night in Sherwood Park. Let's get to the Command Sports 1440 update brought to you by Go Auto. Cars, vans, trucks, SUVs, you name it, they got it. GoAuto.ca. Over 15,000 to choose from. Find your car this weekend. GoAuto.ca.
This is a Sports 1440 update.
Montreal Canadiens captain Nick Suzuki was named the winner of the Selkie Trophy as the forward who best excels in the defensive aspect of the game, while his teammate Cole Caulfield getting the Lady Byng Trophy. Longtime NHL general manager Cliff Fletcher passed away earlier today at the age of 90, a Hockey Hall of Famer. Fletcher won a cup with the Flames in 1989. Game 2 of the NBA Finals goes tonight in about 35 minutes from San Antonio between the Knicks and the Spurs. Of course, New York leading that series 1-0. In the majors, the Jays and Orioles tied at 1 apiece in the top of the 4th. We'll join that game in progress on our AM feed following the Jason Gregor Show. If you're streaming, it's Fox Sports Radio. Elsewhere, Phillies on top of the White Sox 5-3. Mariners trail the Tigers heading into the 5th. And the Rays have a 3-0 lead over the Marlins in the 3rd. Later on tonight, Astros, Athletics, Reds get the Cards. You got the Guardians and Rangers. Twins host the Royals. Brewers meet the Rockies. Padres taking on the Mets, and the Angels meet the Dodgers earlier today. Giants beating up on the Cubbies by a score of 18-3. Week 1 of the CFL rolls on tonight. Got the Bombers in Calgary taking on the Stamps at 7 o'clock tomorrow. The Elks get their season going in Ottawa at 5 o'clock. One final tune-up for Canada before the World Cup. They've got a friendly against Ireland right now, scoreless with 9 minutes into the first half. And later on tonight, Riverhawks staying on the island. They'll take on Nanaimo at 7:30. That will do it for us here on the Jason Gregor Show. Up next, Jay's Baseball on the AM stream feed if you're streaming Fox Sports Radio. I'm Connor Halley. This has been a Sports 1440 update.
It's Sports 1440, a Stingray radio station broadcasting on Treaty 6 territory.
Download